35 pills a day? That is what Kim Kardashian just admitted, and now the internet is side-eyeing the entire idea of celebrity wellness. So Kim Kardashian just set the internet on fire again, and this time it is not about Skims, a breakup, or some new drama with the family group chat. It is about pills. A lot of them. During a recent appearance on Amy Poehler's podcast, Good Hang, Kim casually dropped that she takes around 35 supplements a day. Not 3, not 10, 35. And she does not even take them all at once. She splits them into 3 different rounds throughout the day, like it is a full-time job just to swallow them all. And she even admitted something that honestly sounds way more human than her usual billionaire wellness, glow. She called it pill fatigue. Basically, she is so overtaking them that she gets mentally drained just looking at the routine. At one point, she even joked she wished that, she could just hook up to an IV drip and call it a day, which is real. But here is where things, start getting a little less glam and a lot more serious. Kim also said she once stopped taking fish oil because she was tired of it, only to get blood work done that basically told her, nope, you actually need to still take it. So she had to start again, which kind of shows how intense her health monitoring is and how quickly these routines can go from wellness flex to something that actually needs medical oversight. Now, the internet did what the internet always did. And it takes the number 35 pills a day and kind of ran with it. And suddenly it is not just about wellness anymore. It is about organ stress, kidney health, and whether this kind of routine is, actually sustainable long term. And to be clear, medical experts are not saying Kim is about to collapse tomorrow or today or anything dramatic like that, but they are very consistent, on one point, even vitamins and supplements are not harmless just because they are sold over the counter. I mean, your liver and kidney still have to process every single one. And when you're stacking dozens together daily, especially without tight medical necessity for each one, that is where concern starts to show up over time. Some doctors have even warned that, overdoing supplements can lead to issues like liver strain and kidney stress and nutrient imbalances, not because one vitamin is dangerous, but because the combination and volume can become too much for the body to constantly filter and process. And, that is the tension in this whole story here. On one side, you have Kim Kardashian, arguably one of the most health-obsessed celebrities in the world, right now tracking her blood work, doing body scans, and treating her wellness like a precision project. On the other side, you have a growing wave of people pointing out that this, more is more supplement culture might actually be doing the opposite of what it promises. Because the truth is, most people do not need anywhere near that many pills to be healthy. I mean, for the average person, food first, nutrition, sleep, movement, and stress management still do more heavy lifting than any supplement stack ever will. But, of course, when it is Kim Kardashian, nothing stays simple. Even vitamins turn into a headline. Even I take too many pills, becomes a full-blown internet debate about kidneys longevity and whether wellness, has officially gone too far. And honestly, that might be the real story here. Not that she is sick, not that she is in danger, but that we have reached a point where health in celebrity culture can look so extreme it starts sounding like the thing that might actually make you unhealthy. Imagine showing up to a race you are not competing in and somehow becoming the most controversial person there. That is exactly what happened when Kim Kardashian stepped into the Formula One world. So Kim Kardashian has officially managed to do something nobody thought was possible. She walked into Formula One for about 5 minutes and somehow became the villain of the entire sport. Now, if you have not been following the story, buckle up because this is one of the most ridiculous celebrity controversies of the year so far. It all started at the Monaco Grand Prix, one of the biggest races in the world. Kim was there supporting Lewis Hamilton, and naturally the cameras were following her everywhere. But instead of talking about the race, fans ended up talking about Kim. First came the awkward Martin Brundle moment. For anyone who does not watch Formula One like myself, Martin Brundle is basically racing royalty. During his famous pre-race grid walk, he approached Kim, introduced himself, and tried to ask her a question. What happened next instantly went viral. Kim appeared not to respond to him, and security quickly moved Brundle away. The clip exploded online, and Formula One fans were just not impressed. Some accused her of ignoring one of the most respected figures in the sport, while others argued she probably never even heard of him, in the middle of all this chaos anyway. Either way, the internet grabbed its popcorn and got to work. But somehow that was not even the biggest controversy. After the race, cameras appeared to catch Kim picking up a special winner's towel that belonged to race winner Kimi Antonelli. She was seen using it to wipe her face and sunglasses before walking away with it. And just like that, Towelgate was born. Yes, Towelgate, that's what they're calling it. Imagine spending your entire life working toward winning one of the biggest races in motorsport history, only for your winner's towel to end up becoming a Kim Kardashian accessory. The internet absolutely lost it. Fans started joking that Kim had had stolen the towel. Memes started, spreading everywhere. And suddenly people were talking more about a missing towel than the actual race itself. Even Mercedes joined the fun. Antonelli started posting videos jokingly asking if anyone had actually seen his towel. His teammate George Russell got dragged into the joke as well. The entire Formula One world was basically conducting, a high-speed investigation over a piece of fabric. And honestly, that might be the most Formula One thing ever. Eventually, though, the situation became so viral that Kim sent Antonelli a replacement towel embroidered with a message saying, "To Kimmy from Kim." Antonelli laughed it off, thanked her, and the whole thing ended with, everyone treating it like one giant joke. Well, almost everyone. I mean, a lot of fans were still annoyed because they felt Kim represented everything they do not want Formula One becoming. More, celebrity spectacle, more reality television energy, and less focus on the actual racing. Others thought the backlash was completely over the top. I mean, after all, nobody got hurt. Antonelli got a new towel, and the entire thing was honestly pretty funny. But whether people loved her or hated her, one thing is undeniable: Kim Kardashian managed to become one of the biggest stories in Formula One without driving a single lap. That takes talent or chaos, possibly both. And if there is one thing Kim Kardashian has mastered over the years, it is turning the smallest moment into a headline that everyone ends up talking about. I love me a good class action lawsuit, and this one might be right up my alley because apparently Skims is being hit with one. Kim, you in danger, girl. So Kim Kardashian might be having one of those billionaire boss babe weeks where the group chat is suddenly very quiet because Skims is now being dragged into a class action lawsuit, and the internet is already acting like somebody yelled fire in a crowded Sephora. So according to reports, a former employee named David Knight is suing Skims, claiming the company failed to properly pay workers while he worked there from October to December 2025 in California. And the allegations are very messy. We are talking unpaid overtime, missed meal breaks, skipped rest periods, and claims that employees were not fully paid for all hours worked. He is also trying to turn this into a full class action lawsuit, which basically means he believes other workers there experience the exact same thing too. Now, before the Kardashians send Kris Jenner into full crisis management mode with, 6 burner phones and a smoothie in hand, let me be very clear here. These are allegations right now. Nothing has been proven in court. You're innocent until proven guilty. We know this. And Kim Kardashian herself is not personally named as a defendant in the lawsuit. But you already know the internet does not care about legal technicalities. The second people saw the words class action lawsuit and Skims in the same sentence, everybody suddenly became a labor law expert overnight. And honestly, the timing could not be worse because Skims has been on a nonstop winning streak for years. Like, celebrities wear it, influencers worship it, half the internet acts like putting on a Skims bodysuit will personally fix their taxes and heal childhood trauma. I mean, the brand became so massive that people started treating it less like shapewear and more like a personality trait. Like, who are you if you don't own a pair of Skims, right? But now people online are side-eyeing the whole thing because this is not even the first legal headache tied to Skims this year or the Kardashian-Jenner clan. I mean, Kylie's getting sued by her housekeepers right now. And earlier in 2026, the company also agreed to pay $200,000 to settle allegations involving sales tax issues in New Jersey after officials claimed customers were improperly charged taxes over multiple years. Skims said that situation was caused by a technical error, whatever that means. So now critics online are basically saying, hold on a second, why does this company keep ending up in legal drama? And social media never misses an opportunity to be dramatic. Some people are already posting things like, maybe the real thing getting squeezed here is the employees' paychecks, which real. I mean, this is insane work, and the internet also, this is exactly the type of stuff and comments that go viral, right? Meanwhile, Skims is denying everything, obviously. The company released a statement saying the lawsuit is basically a recycled legal template used by law firms in California hoping for fast settlements, which, I get it. They said they are fully committed to wage and labor law compliance, and they plan to fight the claims in court, of course. And honestly, this could go one of two ways. Either this lawsuit completely fizzles out like Miss Frizzle and Skims moves on like nothing happened while Kim posts another, perfectly beige Instagram photo pretending stress does not exist for her, or this thing somehow snowballs into a much bigger PR nightmare if more employees start coming forward. Because here's the thing, consumers today are way more aware of how companies treat workers behind the scenes, right? People are not just buying products anymore. They're buying into brands and images and lifestyles. So when a company, built on empowerment, confidence, and body positivity gets gets hit with labor allegations, people are gonna notice, and fast. Also, can we talk about how exhausting it must be to be rich and famous in 2026? I know, first world problems, whatever, but one minute you're selling shapewear, the next minute you are allegedly fighting overtime claims while TikTok detectives make 15-part conspiracy series with, very dramatic music and zoom-ins on your face. Either way, this story is definitely not disappearing anytime soon, and you already know if this lawsuit gets bigger, the internet is going to feast on it like it is an all-you-can-eat Kardashian buffet. So yeah, Skims might still be shaping waist, but right now, this lawsuit is shaping up to be a major, massive headache. North West is only 13 years old, but she's already attending major music festivals, showing off piercings, talking music careers, and now she's preparing to go on tour. Some people think she's a young star in the making, others think Kim Kardashian is robbing her of a normal childhood. And the internet, well, they have plenty to say about it. So at what point does being a cool parent turn into being a reckless parent? Because right now, a lot of people online think Kim Kardashian may have crossed that line with North West. North just turned 13 years old, and instead of fans talking about birthday cake and sleepovers, they're talking about concert tours, body piercings, tattoos, music festivals, grills, and whether one of those most famous kids on earth is growing up way too fast. And honestly, the internet is absolutely losing its mind over all of this. The latest controversy started after North announced her first North American tour alongside rapper Molly Santana. The tour follows the release of her debut EP and comes after appearances at major music festivals, including Summer Smash and Rolling Loud. Now, reports say the tour will hit multiple cities across the US and Canada, including a stop in Toronto, so if you want to go. Now, there are plenty of people celebrating North's ambitions, but critics are asking a very different question. Why is a 13-year-old going on tour in the first place? For a lot of fans, this isn't just about music. They see it as part of a much bigger pattern. Over the past year, North has repeatedly gone viral for edgy looks that many people would associate with older teenagers or even adults. We're talking, fake face tattoos, fake nose piercings, grills, dramatic makeup, blue braids, and more recently, finger and wrist piercings that sparked another wave of backlash online. And every single time it happens, social media literally explodes. Some fans defend North's right to express herself creatively. Others say she's being pushed into an adult world before she's even had the chance to enjoy being a kid. One of the biggest arguments from critics is that North's childhood seems increasingly centered around fame, branding, and public appearances. So instead of soccer practice, she's performing at music festivals. Instead of school dances, she's announcing tour dates. Instead of experimenting privately like most teenagers, every hairstyle, outfit, and accessory actually is becoming a global headline. And that's where a lot of people start feeling uncomfortable. The piercing controversy especially struck a nerve. When photos and videos surfaced showing North with dermal-style finger piercings, critics questioned whether that was appropriate for someone her age. The debate became so loud that Kim and North eventually responded to some of the criticism online. The tattoo debate wasn't much different. Even though Kim clarified that many of the tattoos and piercings were temporary or fake, that didn't stop critics from arguing that the overall image was still encouraging kids to grow up too fast. And now with a concert tour being added to the mix, the conversation has reached just a totally other level. Because here's the thing, most parents worry about their 13-year-old staying at the park too late, Kim Kardashian's 13-year-old is planning a multi-city tour. That's not normal. Now, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing depends entirely on who you ask. Supporters argue North was born into an entertainment family. Her father is Kanye West, her mother is Kim Kardashian. Music, fashion, and fame are literally the family business. Critics argue that's the problem though, right? They believe North is being treated less like a child and more like a celebrity brand. And the truth is, both sides probably have a fair point. North clearly loves performing. She seems confident, creative, interested in music, but at the same time, millions of people are watching a 13-year-old navigate a level of fame that most adults simply couldn't handle. So the real question isn't whether North should have blue hair, fake tattoos, or even a tour. The real question is whether anyone can have a normal childhood when the entire world is watching. And judging by the reaction online, a lot of people think that childhood may already be disappearing faster than it should. F1 fans were ready to cancel Kim Kardashian, then Lewis Hamilton stepped in. So Kim Kardashian just found out that dating a Formula One legend does not automatically make Formula One fans love you. And honestly, Monaco was a rough weekend. So Kim showed up at the Monaco Grand Prix to support Lewis Hamilton and what should have been a really cute celebrity girlfriend moment, but it somehow turned into one of the most talked about controversies of the entire race weekend. The drama started with legendary F1 reporter Martin Brundle when he approached Kim during the famous Monaco grid walk. Now, if you're not an F1 fan like myself, you might not understand why this matters, but let me explain so we both get it. So Martin Brundle is basically racing royalty royalty. When he walks up to celebrities before a race and asks a question, the expectation is that you answer. It is practically like an unwritten rule of Formula One. So when Brundle approached Kim and introduced himself, fans expected like, a little quick hello. Instead, it was a lot of awkward silence. Kim gave a very small little wave, said nothing, and then her entourage moved her away. The internet immediately exploded. Like, fans accused her of being rude, disrespectful, distasteful, and acting like, she was bigger than the sport itself. People were dragging her left, right, and center. I mean, some fans did defend her and said she probably had no idea who Martin Brundle was or what the grid walk tradition even is, which fair, because I didn't until this moment. But by that point, it was already too late. The clips were everywhere, and suddenly Kim Kardashian was trending for all the wrong reasons again. But then Lewis Hamilton stepped in. So after finishing a very impressive second place in Monaco, Lewis was asked about Kim, and for the first time publicly, he actually addressed the relationship. And his response was actually surprisingly really sweet. Lewis said it was amazing to have Kim there supporting him, and said she supports him every single day. So translation, well, everybody can calm down now, because Lewis clearly does not care what the internet thinks, right? Now, while fans were busy writing think pieces about, grid walk etiquette, Lewis was busy standing on a Monaco podium. And if that was not enough, he even blew a little kiss towards Kim after the race. Very cutesy. And that pretty much confirmed everything. I mean, the funny part is that Kim probably thought she was attending a race, just regular stuff. Instead, she accidentally walked into one of the most tradition-obsessed sports communities on the planet. F1 fans will forgive a bad pit stop. They will forgive a terrible strategy call, but apparently ignoring Martin Brundle is where they draw that line hard. So the whole thing turned into a culture clash. Kim Kardashian entered the Formula One world like a global superstar. Formula One fans responded like a group of people protecting, ancient sacred texts or something. And right in the middle of it all was Lewis Hamilton. But, except instead of distancing himself from the controversy, he did the exact opposite, which is kind of nice. He publicly praised Kim, he thanked her for supporting him, and he made it very, very clear that, kind of whatever noise was happening online was not affecting him or them at all. So while the internet was busy roasting Kim Kardashian, Lewis Hamilton basically hit everyone with the ultimate response: a smile, a podium finish, and a public show of support and love. Not exactly the reaction the critics were hoping for, because if Monaco proved anything, it is that Lewis Hamilton was not bothered by the backlash. And judging by his comments, I mean, neither is Kim. Kim Kardashian can't stop changing her face, and this is why we think that is. You think you're looking at the same face you saw on her 2007 debut? Think again. Kim Kardashian has been quietly rewriting her facial blueprint like she's, co-authoring a beauty brand handbook. But why? Let's unpack the tea, shall we? Firstly, the only, I've had only a little Botox era. Kim publicly claims she's only done a little bit of Botox in her forehead. And yet, the mirror and the internet doesn't exactly read just a tiny tweak. I mean, there's a dissonance between what she says and what the cheeks, lips, jawline, and yes, even that left eye whisper. Now, why the denial? Well, for years, the natural beauty narrative was a massive sales point. Kim launched cosmetics, she built shadows and highlighters around her face, quite literally. The message was, I look this way naturally. Admitting major work might actually undercut the brand, right? But soon even she had to pivot. I mean, media, analytics, influencers, everyone sees that face through a microscope now. Let's talk timing. Now, in a world where everyone from, 22-year-old TikTokers to your cousin's best friend is going under the needle, Kim's level of change isn't just maintenance, it's evolution. Face wrap launches, new jawline contours, cheek shifts, it's like a brand relaunch. Her company, her image, the public, it's all interlinked. Now, here's what's really going on, at least in my opinion. One, marketing positioning. Kim isn't just Kardashian famous anymore. She's an empire. Her face is literally part of her business asset. I mean, evolve the face and you evolve the brand, right? Two, cultural standard setting. Now, she helped define Instagram face, the plump lips, the contour cheeks, the snatched jawline. When you set the standard, you have to stay ahead of it. Three, age and competition. I mean, at 40 plus in an influencer game where youth is currency, she needs to refresh the look while balancing her identity. So yes, there's revision, lots of it. And yes, some fans are calling it out. Lots of, people saying, what the hell happened to your face type comments. Now, the cheek implants used to sit higher, the lips used to read fuller. The public doesn't just expect an update, they demand it now. You show one static look for a decade and you're done. Kim knows this. Here's the dark underbelly though. By continually transforming, the message to the rest of us becomes stand still and you'll fall behind. When the face keeps changing, so do the benchmarks. That's not just vanity. I mean, it's social pressure. The rise of injections, threads, sculpting, these are all the new normal. Kim isn't just playing the game, she's kind of rewriting the rules here. Now you might ask, does it matter? Well, yes and no. It depends who you ask, right? Yes, because she's massively influential. People buy the look. They strive for the look. They emulate the look. And so her face isn't just her face anymore. It's a template. And no, because at the end of the day, she owns billions of dollars. She can afford multiple surgeries, custom treatments, and easier recovery. You and I, not so much. Well, maybe you can watching this, but I know I sure can't. So while we critique, we also have to stay very realistic. So what's the main takeaway? Because you knew one was coming, right? Kim's face changes are about more than aesthetics. They're strategic. Every tweak, adjustment, refresher isn't just for the mirror, it's for the spreadsheet. She's kind of monetizing her own canvas. She's selling an image that evolves. And in the world of look at me content, that means constant changing, because in 2025, your face isn't just your face, it's your brand, your business, your social currency. Is Kim Kardashian responsible for ruining a man's life? I've got some hot tea. Pull your teacups out. Kim Kardashian has done a lot of things, broken the internet, broken the Met Gala, broken out into law school, but this time she broke something way more important, an innocent man's entire life. It all started when Kim decided to jump into a full-blown justice crusade to help save a Texas death row inmate named Ivan Cantu. Very noble, very on brand, very I'm the Elle Woods of Calabasas. And 2 days before his execution day, she posted a very dramatic call to action to her millions of followers, except she accidentally posted a photo of the wrong Ivan Cantu. Not the man on D row, not the man in prison, not the man in any trouble whatsoever. I mean, you gotta laugh, guys, right? She posted a regular dude from New York, a project manager living his 9-to-5 life, and basically told her 350 million followers, hey, this man is about to be executed for schmurder. Boom, reputation, obliterated in 0.2 seconds. And when people pointed that out, well, the post was just quietly deleted, like it was just another Facetune mishap. Kim apologized, of course, saying she would never use, his picture if she knew it was the wrong guy, which, yeah, but also, you're a billionaire with a whole team. How did nobody double check the literal face of the man you're trying to save? This isn't guessing a Starbucks order. This is identifying a D-row inmate. The innocent Ivan, the one minding his business, doing nothing, ended up being, of course, humiliated, terrified, and suddenly associated with a brutal double schmurder. He says he stopped sleeping, developed intense anxiety, and basically entered fight or flight mode without ever signing up for the Kardashian cinematic universe. His bosses, coworkers, friends, everyone saw the post. Imagine waking up and finding out Kim Kardashian told the world you're a schmurderer. That's not even a nightmare. That's a public relations obituary. So what did he do? He sued her hard. Defamation, slander, emotional distress, invasion of privacy. I mean, if there was a checkbox, he hit it. And honestly, who wouldn't? One wrong Instagram upload and this man's entire identity got dragged through the dirt. But here's where it gets wild. Kim, of course, arrested, but Kim's legal team fired back, saying she was just using her platform to speak on a major public issue, and the judge agreed. So the lawsuit tossed out, completely dismissed. The court ruled that Kim's post fell under protected free speech and that her mistake, while messy, wasn't malicious. So legally, Kim walked away. Handcuffs completely off and gone. But socially, she basically hit this man with a Kardashian-level drive-by character assassination and sped off in a Skims branded getaway car. Now, the most ironic part, Kim was fighting to save the reputation and life of one Ivan Cantu while completely destroying the reputation and peace of, mind you, another Ivan Cantu who had absolutely nothing to do with any of this. So the wrong man got caught in the crossfire of celebrity activism, and he's the one who paid the emotional price for a mistake he just didn't make. So the real reason Kim Kardashian destroyed this innocent man's life? Simple. In her rush to save one man, she accidentally sacrificed another, not out of cruelty, but out of carelessness. And when you're that famous, even a small mistake becomes a nuclear bomb in someone else's world. That's the power and the danger of a single Kardashian post. One click, one name, one face, and one innocent man's life changed forever. Kim Kardashian fell flat on her face, and let's just say it was a little embarrassing to say the least. So Kim K really said beauty is pain, and then immediately proved it in real time. So here's what happened. She's stepping out for the Vanity Fair Oscars after party, dripping in a gold Gucci gown, ice blue contacts, full, bombshell glam, looking like she just walked off a red carpet straight into billionaire heaven. Cameras were flashing, people staring, the whole moment, curated down to the last eyelash. And then it all suddenly goes left because Kim decides right before walking in to adjust her shoe, which, let's be honest, is already a risky decision when you're balanced on what can only be described as architectural engineering. I mean, we're talking sky-high platform heels, the kind that don't forgive mistakes. Next thing you know, she lets out a scream, loses her footing, and fully wipes out into a bush. It wasn't a cute stumble, not a whoops haha moment. No, this was like a full dramatic fall backwards straight into a bush. Yes, a bush. Leaves, branches, dignity, all gone. And somehow though, it actually gets a little worse because as she's going down, she grabs onto a random woman nearby for dear life. I mean, this poor woman was just kind of standing there. She was holding some sort of pink box, don't know what was in it, but she was minding her business, and suddenly she's been cast as a supporting character in Kim K's fall from grace. Now she's trying to stay upright, protect her box, and not get dragged down, into the bushes along with Kim. Now Kim's stumbling along, she's apologizing profusely, talking about her ankle, trying to recover physically and emotionally at the same time. And while the entire thing is unfolding in front of people who definitely did not sign NDAs, here's the part that really makes the next level, embarrassing. Kim actually posted this video herself. No hiding, no, this never happened. She uploaded the fall like, yeah, this is what we're doing today, which honestly pretty bold. I mean, slightly unhinged, but bold nonetheless. And let's talk about the real villain of this story, the heels. 8 inches, sky high, gravity defying, absolutely disrespectful heels. The kind that look amazing in photos, but clearly have a personal vendetta against stability. And the fact that they were only like $80 allegedly, I'm sorry, like how are you a billionaire getting betrayed by budget shoes? That's not fashion, that's pretty much a setup. But also this is so Kim, very on brand for her. She will risk everything for the look. I mean, balance, optional, safety, irrelevant. If the outfit hits, nothing else matters, right? Except gravity said actually kind of does. And the internet, well, they ate this up immediately, of course, because there is nothing people love more than seeing someone who is always perfectly polished have a very real, very clumsy moment. I mean, it kind of humanizes her, but also it humbles her. So was this whole moment a little embarrassing? Yeah, absolutely. Was it iconic? Unfortunately, also yes, because only Kim Kardashian could fall into a bush, take out an innocent bystander, apologize mid-chaos, post it online, and still walk into the party like nothing happened. Do we have a case of jealousy or sisterhood? Because Kim K just got a serious warning from Lewis Hamilton's ex-girlfriend, and she may want to listen to this one. So something is seriously wrong with this relationship already, and the warning signs may have been there before Kim Kardashian even entered the picture, okay? Because now people are resurfacing comments tied to Nicole Scherzinger. That's one of Lewis Hamilton's most famous exes, where the message being repeated is very simple. Be careful of him. He is fun, exciting, charming, but not exactly the type to settle down. That's a pretty loud message. And if that sounds brutal, it is, because it hits directly at the biggest question surrounding, Kim and Lewis right now. Is this real love, or is this just a temporary headline romance? Lewis Hamilton and Nicole had one of those, on again, off again relationships that lasted for like years. They had chemistry, glamour, fame, and every opportunity to make it work. But, despite all of that history, it actually never became the forever story many people actually expected or wanted it to. Now you might be asking why? Well, because settling down always seemed to be the big issue here. So yeah, kind of a red flag. So when Nicole's alleged warning gets brought back into this conversation, I mean, fans immediately look at Kim K like, and wonder like if she is walking into the same movie, but with a totally different cast. Because Kim is now in a totally different era of life. She's got children, multiple businesses, serious long-term branding moves. She's, pushing 50 soon, which is not a big deal, but still, she constantly talks about, wanting peace now at this point in her life, maturity, consistency, and someone who is dependable. She does not need another flashy romance that looks great in photos, because they do, but disappears when real life starts. And that is where people think the mismatch begins, Now, to be fair, nobody outside their circle knows the full truth. People grow, priorities change. A man who was not ready years ago may be ready now, and we know that. That happens all the time. You cannot make a man ready. He needs to be ready himself. But the internet is not judging the private truth. It is judging the pattern. And the pattern people remember is this: Nicole was with him for years and it still did not land in forever territory, which happens, So when Kim, steps in, fans are asking, why this time would it be different? Then add the body language clips people keep discussing. I mean, they look polished, they look expensive, they look camera ready, but do they look deeply connected? That is where this debate starts. Some say yes, many say it feels more curated than natural, which fair, they are celebrities at the end of the day, everything's curated. And if Nicole's warning really was he is fun, but not the type to settle down, then this relationship suddenly makes a lot more sense. So is something seriously wrong with Kim Kardashian and Lewis Hamilton's relationship? Maybe the issue is not drama. Maybe the issue is expectations, because if Kim wants permanence and Lewis still wants freedom, then no amount of chemistry, wealth, or designer outfits can fix that. And that is exactly why people keep bringing Nicole back into this conversation.
Has Kim Kardashian decided to remove her BBL? Or is this Ozempic's latest victim? Kim built an entire era of pop culture around her curves. So when whispers started that her BBL might be disappearing, the internet didn't just notice. It lost its mind. This isn't just about body trends. This is Kim Kardashian possibly undoing the very body that made her a billionaire. And the question everyone's asking, is Ozempic to blame? Let's be honest. Kim's body has changed before, many, many times. But this shift feels different. The exaggerated hourglass, the ultra-projected hips, the cartoon-level curves, all softened. Her frame is leaner, narrower, almost runway thin, more early 2000s than Instagram baddie. And yes, people noticed. Red carpets, paparazzi shots, bikini photos. Suddenly, the curves that launched 1,000 memes looked smaller, flatter, muted. Now, Kim has never confirmed a BBL, but let's not pretend we're idiots. Cosmetic procedures were basically her brand, so the idea she might be undoing it, not shocking. Enter Ozempic, Hollywood's worst kept secret. Originally for diabetes, now a celebrity weight loss miracle. Rapid fat loss, suppressed appetite, shrinking bodies, and Kim right at the center of the chatter. Here's the thing. When you lose weight fast, your body chooses where the fat goes. That includes the fat from a BBL. Even without surgery, it can shrink, flattening the butt and softening the hips. BBL fat isn't magic. Sorry, girls. But wait, there's more. The beauty standard has shifted. The exaggerated BBL, out. Thin, angular, minimal, in. And Kim's always been a trend chameleon. She doesn't just follow, she reinvents herself to stay relevant. So maybe this isn't Ozempic doing the work. Maybe it's a strategic choice. BBL reductions are on the rise. Celebrities are downsizing because their old enhancements no longer fit the aesthetic. Kim's look lately? Clean, severe, ultra slick hair. Neutral tones, luxury minimalism. A giant Instagram famous BBL doesn't fit that brand anymore. And let's be real, controlling your image is her business. If Ozempic helped and she chose not to maintain it, that's not accident, that's power move. So is Ozempic to blame? Possibly. Is she quietly reversing a BBL because trends changed? Also possible. Honestly, it's probably both. What makes this so delicious? The same extreme curves that made her a star are now disappearing. And Kim is walking away like it never existed. Hollywood is ruthless, darling. And the body that built your empire doesn't get a permanent pass. Kim Kardashian removing her BBL, medically, metabolically, or strategically, isn't just gossip. It's a sign of how fast beauty trends shift and how brutal Hollywood is when the body you built your brand on suddenly goes out of style.
Kim Kardashian is feuding with one of her sisters again. She's been called out by Khloe with her shady Instagram posts as the pair have been fighting on the new episode of The Kardashians. Now, in the most recent episode of The Kardashians, the sisters clashed over Khloe's parenting, with Kim suggesting that Khloe's 2 kids rule her life. Now, this came about after Khloe turned down a trip to Paris for Fashion Week because she wanted to be home with her kids. Now, last week's episode also documented their family vacation to Aspen, which took place in January. On the trip, Kim called out Khloe for FaceTiming her daughter during their group dinner. Now, Kim again was annoyed with this. Kim said in a confessional, "Here we go again. She just is so stuck on what's going on at home that she can't have a good time," before later describing Khloe constantly FaceTiming her kids as annoying. Several viewers of the reality show have since called Kim out for shaming Khloe, and fans have actually done the math and figured out that Khloe was seemingly shading Kim on Instagram around the very same time that they were quietly clashing. Now, back in January and February, around the same time as the Aspen trip, Khloe shared multiple quotes that are seemingly aimed at Kim. 20 years from now, the only people who'll remember if you worked late are your kids, one quote read. Raise your children to be impressed by kindness, loyalty, and humility, not just wealth, possessions, and power, read another. Then in 2007, Kim and her then boyfriend, Ray J, tape was leaked online, and it's how Kim rose to fame. Now, Kim sued Vivid Entertainment for ownership of the tape. In late April 2007, Kim dropped the suit and settled for $5 million. Now, the blame was put on Ray J for releasing the video, but after all these years, Ray J maintains his innocence. He said, "I've sat in the shadows for over 14 years, allowing the Kardashians to use my name, to abuse my name, make billions of dollars over a decade and a half, talking about a topic I've never really spoken about. I've never leaked anything. I've never leaked a tape in my life." Now, he claims that Kim and Kris negotiated the release of the tape in the early 2000s. Now, Kris apparently watched 3 different Ray J and Kim and chose to leak the one that gave her daughter a better look. Now, if that's true, that is just gross. Now, Kris Jenner has denied playing a role in getting her daughter tape released and even took a lie detector test on the James Corden show, but Ray J is still adamant that they did help. Now, looking back, Ray J said he is embarrassed of the tape. Now, Kim's whole relationship with Kris Humphries was something else. They dated for 6 months before they got married. Now, Kris wasn't really into all the fame, but Kim wanted it all. Now, their relationship made them a lot of money. The reality star was paid $1.5 million by people for their wedding photos alone. They also got $30,000 for their engagement announcement and another massive chunk of cash from both her bridal shower and her honeymoon pictures. Not to mention the bonus check they got from airing their wedding on Keeping Up. Now, afterwards though, after 72 days, Kim filed for divorce. Now, Kris felt bamboozled and cited fraud as the reason for wanting an annulment. Kim's paperwork stated irreconcilable differences, and she later discussed the marriage on her show and revealed her mother encouraged her to run on her wedding day if she needed to. Now, following their split, Kris's lawyer told the Los Angeles Fraud Court that Kim had no intention of proceeding with this marriage. It was basically a tactic for the benefit of her show and to make money. But Jonathan Jackson, who worked with the reality star between 2007 and 2009, said that the pair's union was a publicity stunt. Speaking on Good Day LA back in 2011, Jackson said, 2 weeks prior to her wedding, she knew it was not something she wanted to do. Unfortunately, they were obligated to honor contracts with the E! Network, which had TV rights. Otherwise, they would have owed a lot of people a lot of money. Now, after their divorce and sketchy relationship, Kris exposed some of Kim's secrets. Back in 2013, Kris revealed that the proposal for the show was not a surprise and that Kim was aware of it, so the scene where she seemed moved and surprised in is super fake. In fact, Kris went further to say that they had to reshoot the proposal because Kim didn't like her reaction. Kim told Kris how, where, and when to propose. It was absolutely no surprise to her whatsoever, a source told Radar Online. First of all, Kris proposed in the middle of the day, and he had to do that because it would create better lighting to capture the moment. Now, Kim looked surprised but knew it was happening. She was in full hair and makeup, and she's always in on the show. But all of his ideas were shot down by production officials and Kim. Now, another person she got married to was Kanye West. They got married and had 4 children together, and they were happy until things started to go south in 2020. In July 2020, Kanye acknowledged the possibility of Kim ending their marriage, and later that month, he wrote on Twitter that he had been attempting to divorce Kim. Now, he also wrote that the Kardashian family was attempting to lock him up. In January 2021, CNN reported that the couple were discussing divorce, and a month later, Kim filed for divorce, agreeing to joint custody of their children and declining spousal support from each other. The divorce settlement was finalized in November 2022, and after they divorced, Kim dated Pete Davidson, which Kanye did not like, and he took a lot of digs at Pete and Kim. He posted online about it saying, "You are lying and are liars. Y'all basically kidnapped Chicago on her birthday so she couldn't remember her father not being there, so there. Also, I should see my children 100% of the time, but since there's a separation, it should have been 50% of the time. Y'all wouldn't have played with Donda like that in Jesus' name." Now, the Kardashians, for their part, have repeatedly denied Kanye's claims about Chicago's birthday, and after this rant, Khloe commented on Kanye's posts, begging him to please stop tearing Kimberly down, adding that she and her family have had enough of the false birthday narrative. Now, at the 2022 Met Gala, Kim arrived in the iconic Happy Birthday Mr. President Marilyn Monroe dress. Now, Kim said the idea of wearing the late actress's dress felt like the perfect representation of America. She was granted special access to wear it as it is kept in a museum, and people did not like this. They thought it was unfair and in poor taste to take the dress of an icon and have Kim wear it. Now, besides that, Kim revealed that she had to lose 16 pounds in 3 weeks in order to fit into the gown. She said, "It was such a challenge, it was like a role, I was determined to fit in it. I'd wear a sauna suit twice a day, run on the treadmill, completely cut out all sugar and all carbs, and just eat the cleanest veggies and protein. I didn't starve myself, but I was so strict." Following this, many slammed Kim for appearing to promote a toxic and dangerous mindset about body image and weight loss. She said, "To me, it was like, okay, Christian Bale can do it for a movie role and that is acceptable. It's all the same to me. I wasn't saying, hey everyone, why don't you go lose this weight in a short period of time." Now, her losing all that weight in a short period of time, though, really rubbed people the wrong way. And finally, we have Kim's short-lived feud with Chloe Grace Moretz. In July 2016, when Kim had her own celebrity feud going on with Taylor Swift, she posted her supposed proof on Snapchat of Taylor lying, and fans went crazy. This annoyed Chloe Grace Moretz, though, who tweeted, "Everyone in the industry needs to get their heads out of a hole and look around and realize what's actually happening in the real world. Stop wasting your voice on something so petulant and unimportant." Minutes later, jumping to her big sister's defense, Khloe Kardashian responded with a collage of pictures. Now, the first picture was of Chloe Grace at the beach, and the next photo was a photo of an unknown blonde-haired woman who she presumably thought was Chloe in the sea, suffering an embarrassing and revealing bikini mishap. Now, Khloe Kardashian captioned the image, "Is this the hole you're referring to?" at Chloe G. Moretz, and Khloe straight away tweeted back, "Fact check, first photo is me filming my movie Neighbors 2, the second photo is some girl who was wrongly photographed." But this feud didn't end there, though. In 2016, Kim turned heads for sharing a full frontal nude selfie with only black bars to protect her modesty on Twitter. She captioned the photo with, "When you're like, I have nothing to wear, LOL." Then, out of nowhere, Khloe responded to the picture by commenting, "I truly hope you realize how important setting goals are for young women, teaching them we have so much more to offer than just our bodies." Now, Kim didn't take this lying down and replied back, "Let's all welcome at Chloe G. Moretz to Twitter since no one knows who she is. Your nylon cover is cute, boo." Starting off, we have to talk about her infamous tape with her then boyfriend Ray J. Now, the tape was leaked in 2007 and it thrusted Kim into the spotlight, but for all the wrong reasons. Now, Kim sued Vivid Entertainment for ownership of the tape, and in late April 2007, Kim dropped the suit and settled for $5 million. Now, many people judged her for this, and in 2022 there were actually rumors that there was a second part of the tape that was going to get leaked. Now, it was said this leak was done by Ray J, but years later he's spoken out and claimed that the famous family story was a lie. He said, "I've sat in the shadows for over 14 years, allowing the Kardashians to use my name, to abuse my name, Kim make billions of dollars over a decade and a half talking about a topic I've never really spoken about. I've never leaked anything. I've never leaked a tape in my life. Now, he claims that Kim and Kris negotiated the release of the tape in the early 2000s. Kris apparently watched 3 different Ray J and Kim tapes and chose to leak the one that gave her daughter a better look, which is honestly just so gross. Now, since then, Kris has denied being a part of the leak, but it really wouldn't surprise me if she actually was. Then there was the time in 2024 where she offended a lot of people with what she wore to a wedding. In July, Kim and her sister Khloe attended the lavish wedding of billionaire heir Anant Ambani and his fiancée in India. The sisters looked stunning at the traditional wedding, but for one of the events, Kim wore red, which is considered by some to break the Hindu wedding etiquette. Now, the color red is generally reserved for the bride, and it's often frowned upon for guests to wear red. It's practically like if you wore white to someone else's wedding in the Western world. It's a big no-no. Now, after sharing photos of her outfit on Instagram, Kim faced backlash from her followers who thought it was an inappropriate outfit choice and called out her lack of respect. Now, Kim chose not to respond to the comments, but fans were disappointed that she didn't research the culture beforehand to know what was acceptable. Controversy also arose when it was announced that Kim would appear on Variety's Actors on Actors. Now, Kim starred in 1 season of American Horror Story, which some fans didn't even like to begin with. Now, there was outrage, but Kim still did the interview, and she was partnered with Chloe Sevigny, who, like Kim, had also worked with Ryan Murphy. Although Chloe allegedly wasn't initially supposed to be Kim's interview partner, the interview itself went well. But viewers online were offended that Kim was being called an actor, though. Kim Kardashian's work on 1 season of American Horror Story does not put her on par with anyone on this list. She's nowhere near their level of talent and many accomplishments, one person said. Kim Kardashian, can we be serious please? While another chimed in, Kim Kardashian is not an actor. Now, a few fans even accused the star of paying her way onto the series. Real actors exist, why did Kim K pay to be there? Then there's everything with Taylor Swift. Now, she and Kim have a bad relationship because of Kanye West. Now, we all know that Taylor Swift and Kanye West have a history, and when Kanye released his song Famous, in which he calls out Taylor Swift by name, I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex, why I made that be famous. Taylor Swift's reps shared a statement saying that Taylor was never made aware of the actual lyric "I made that be famous" in the song. Now, later, Kim graced the cover of GQ and paired it with an in-depth interview where she discussed how Taylor had approved the lyric per a recorded phone conversation between the two singers. Kim then posted a video of Taylor and Kanye on the phone discussing the songs, which proved that Taylor was lying. Now, the whole internet turned against Taylor, with Kim leading the hate train. But in 2020, the full phone call between Kanye and Taylor was leaked, proving Taylor was telling the truth and that Kim lied and edited the phone call conversation to make it look like Taylor was in the wrong. At the 2022 Met Gala, Kim Kardashian arrived in the iconic "Happy Birthday, Mr. President" Marilyn Monroe dress. She was granted special access to wear this as it is kept in a museum, but most of the general public didn't like this and thought that the dress should have been left alone. Besides that, Kim revealed that she had to lose 16 pounds in 3 weeks in order to fit into the gown. You see, the dress couldn't be altered to fit her, so she had to alter herself to fit into the dress. There was drama about how she lost her weight and whether it was healthy or not, but that got covered up though with another scandal, as it was claimed that Kim actually damaged and ripped the real Marilyn Monroe dress. Now, she denied it, but a Monroe collector is claiming that the dress has sustained permanent damage as a result. After Kim returned the dress, Scott Fortner shared photos of the dress taken that appear to show stretched and buckling fabric, along with missing crystals or ones left hanging by a thread, as it appears that Kim has has damaged the dress, which is something that people were worried about, and it actually happened. Now, Kim had another scandal at the Met Gala too, where she wore a dress with a corset so tight her waist was pretty much invisible. I mean, it was so tight people were worried for the star, wondering how she could even breathe. People online were also angry though, because she was promoting yet again another unhealthy beauty standard. People were shocked by this and angered with the star. I'm not saying the media is to blame for young women's eating disorders, but Kim Kardashian crushing her organs to be thin on a red carpet sure doesn't effing help. Now, some celebrities also spoke out about this, like Jamila Jamil. She said, "The media has created a cycle of obsessing over Kim's body and teaching the public that this is the image to warrant attention and praise, and then they blame her for her impact on our beauty standards. She has no impact without attention. Who gives celebrities attention? The media and us," she said. Now, regardless, the look was crazy, and Kim shouldn't be hurting herself like that, just all in the name for fashion. Now, Kim hasn't had the best luck when it comes to love, because she once had a marriage that lasted for only 72 days. Yeah, she was married to Kris Humphries, and they made a lot of money with their photos and filming the whole experience on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Now, when Kim ended things though, Kris was blindsided by this, as he felt that they were truly in love, and he cited fraud as a reason for wanting an annulment. Now, following their split, Kris's lawyer told the Los Angeles Fraud Court that Kim had no intentions of proceeding with this marriage, and if you look at the evidence, it seems to be true. Now, I honestly kind of feel bad for Kris and him going through all of that. Then there was the time Kim bought one of Princess Diana's necklaces at an auction. Kim snagged the diamond-encrusted amethyst Atala cross pendant famously worn by Princess Diana for $197,453 in 2023. Now, in November, Kim attended the 2024 LACMA Art Plus Film Gala, where she wore a dramatic white dress with a plunging neckline. Now, people called out Kim for wearing the necklace though, writing that it was weird that she would continue to wear pieces once owned by deceased celebrities, and they felt that she was trying to upstage Diana. Now, others called the move disrespectful. Some felt her wearing it with that dress was offensive to the religious symbol. Why are we still giving this woman precious heirlooms like Diana's necklace after she broke Marilyn's dress? Wrote one commenter on Instagram. And I mean, Kim has the money to do these things, but should she be allowed to do it? I don't think so. Now, Kim was also called out for doing blackface while promoting her beauty products. Now, afterwards, she told the New York Times, "I would obviously never want to offend anyone. I used an amazing photographer and a team of people. I was really tan when we shot the images, and it might be that the contrast was off. But I showed the image to many people, to many in the business. No one brought that to our attention, no one mentioned it." But people online had a problem with it.
Kim Kardashian was caught saying a derogatory word about a specific group of people during a promotional clip being filmed for her Skims shapewear line, and she thought no one was filming. A clip got leaked of behind-the-scenes footage from the promotional video shoot. Kim assumed the cameras were all shut off by now, and so she let her guard down, using a very unflattering term to describe a particular demographic. After facing backlash, she apologized for it and said it was meant to only be heard by her friends who were unable to identify her Halloween costume. The Keeping Up with the Kardashians star posted a series of videos on her Instagram story from sister Kendall Jenner's Halloween bash, where she quizzed fellow partygoers on who she was dressed up as, donning a furry hat, tight white corset, and bombshell blonde hair Kardashian West and BFF Jonathan Cheban, also known as Food God, channeled Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee from the 1999 VMAs. However, hardly anyone at the party could actually tell that's who they were. Nobody knows who we are here. That's what she kept saying during one of the videos. Now, she said, "You guys are all too young. This is so sad." And in another video that has now since, of course, been deleted, the mother of four told former assistant Stephanie Shepard, who did recognize her look, she said, "Nobody knows who I am." Yeah. Then she said the R word that I will not say, but you can guess what it is that I'm referring to. The derogatory word was instantly met with backlash. One Twitter user challenged Kardashian to do better. This user wrote on Twitter, she said, "Our word is not a synonym for stupid. It's actually an offensive term to a vulnerable population of people with intellectual disabilities and to those who love them." Another person also slammed the makeup mogul's word choice and said, "That was a really unnecessary use of the word. I think we should all know and do better by now. It breaks my heart and angers my soul when I hear that word thrown around, knowing the pain that it carries." Another person shared a similar opinion and tweeted, "So people that don't know who you are for Halloween are blank? Really? Shake my head. Maybe you should spend time with people with disabilities. That way you can show more empathy towards those that are special needs." Kardashian, of course, deleted the video from her Instagram account and apologized for using the word, she said in a statement to USA Today. She said, "I want to apologize for what I said in a recent video post that is inappropriate and insensitive to the special needs community. I try to learn from my mistakes, and this is one of those times." She continued to say, "Please know that my intention is always pure, and in this case, it was a mistake. I'm sorry." Kim Kardashian decided to turn an ice bath into a bizarre shower scene of sorts during last week's episode of The Kardashians. Kim, her sister Khloe, and momager Kris Jenner decided to take a luxurious RV out to Joshua Tree for a one-night camping excursion. The campsite wasn't quite what they expected though, with very few amenities, which apparently didn't include any kind of working shower. After a date out in the dusty campsite, Kim, who recently revealed her connection to Bill Gates' daughter, declared she had never felt dirtier, adding that she needs to shower. Since the RV apparently didn't have a shower either, Kim decided to take matters into her own hands with a bikini-clad ice bath that Khloe felt was inappropriate. She even compared it to a scene in an R-rated movie as cameras caught Kim lathering herself up. Khloe and Kris watched as Kim tried to walk up the wooden steps into the ice bath, but started freaking out and running away as Kim ultimately realized the small light stuck into the ground touched her leg. Khloe and Kris sat down and watched as Kim took off her white robe, revealing a beige bikini top and matching Skims shapewear. She got into the ice bath with a loofah and soap, and as Kim lathered herself up and proclaimed, "Oh, I feel so much better already," Khloe added in confession, "Kim taking her bath with her loofah, like you just brought a loofah with you camping? Where did this come from? It feels very inappropriate." Khloe even mocked her sister lathering herself up while adding, "Me watching her do this feels very inappropriate." Many people took to social media to react to this episode, saying it was inappropriate and it shouldn't have been filmed or aired. Some people thought it was in good fun and didn't bother to care too much. Either way, the damage is done. When KKW Beauty launched in 2017, Kim Kardashian was accused of darkening her skin tone in a promotional image. When the star shared the promotional images for her beauty brand's contour kits in June of 2017, she faced swift backlash, with some social media users accusing her of darkening her skin tone. Some even accused Kardashian of wearing blackface. She told the New York Times later that month, "I would obviously never want to offend anyone. I used an amazing photographer and a team of people. I was really tan when we shot the images, and it might be that the contrast was off. Of course, I have the utmost respect for why people might feel the way they did, but we made the necessary changes to that photo and the rest of the photos. We saw the problem and we adapted and changed right away. Definitely I've learned from it." Now, she later spoke about the photos on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. She said in the episode, "Oh my gosh, I'm seeing these photos from the campaign, the ones that we took, and people online are saying that I'm doing blackface, but I would never in a million years be disrespectful and do that." People didn't buy her apology, of course, and fans have been accusing her of intentionally doing this ever since. In June 2019, Kardashian was accused of cultural appropriation when she initially named her shapewear line Kimono. As Kardashian was prepping to launch her new shapewear line in 2019, she announced the name of the new brand, which of course again was Kimono, which was just a play on the star's name. Yet Kimono and Kardashian, were accused of cultural appropriation and insensitivity towards the significance of kimonos in Japanese culture. The mayor of Kyoto even penned an open letter to Kardashian asking her not to use the name. Kardashian later addressed the controversy in an interview with WSJ magazine. She said in July of 2019, "You would think we would have obviously thought it through a little bit deeper. I'm the first person to say, okay, of course, I can't believe we didn't think of this. I obviously had really innocent intentions, but let's listen." And I want to really listen and I want to really take it all in. I do love Japan. My husband was in Japan when all of this was happening. It's a place that we love and go to. I have such respect. In August of 2019, Kardashian then launched her shapewear line under the new name, as we know now, Skims. Kim Kardashian was accused of not knowing her own privilege when she told Variety that it seems like nobody wants to work these days. Who can forget this one, right? We all know she wishes this video footage would just disappear. In an interview with Variety published in March 2022, Kim, Khloe, Kourtney, and Kris spoke about their respective businesses and shared advice for other women in business. She said, "It seems like nobody wants to work these days. You have to surround yourself with people that want to work. Have a good work environment where everyone loves what they do because you have one life. No toxic work environments, and show up and do the work." Her comments drew backlash from people who cited her privileged upbringing and celebrity status, which has helped in catapulting her businesses to new heights. Kardashian later apologized for the comments, which she said were just taken out of context. Kardashian told ABC News that statement, she said without questions and conversation around it, saying that the previous question had been about her being famous for being famous. It became a soundbite really with no context. Kim was accused of rocking a racist hairstyle. Kim has been accused of cultural appropriation at least 3 times in recent years after rebranding, historic hairstyles, and so on and so forth. Now, this first came in 2016 when she became obsessed with the look the family renamed boxer braids. But the hairstyle, which Kim was accused of taking the credit for, was actually just cornrows. In 2018, she courted controversy again after renaming another hairstyle the Bo Derek. Culture experts told Allure that they were actually Fulani braids and had been worn by Black women for years, decades, centuries, even millennials. Now, 6 months later after that, Kim sparked outrage again when she donned braids for the MTV Movie and TV Awards. Twitter users fumed over the style being considered cool on Kim, but unkept or unprofessional on Black women. During an interview with Bustle, Kim defended herself and claimed she didn't see the backlash over her donning braids in the past. She said, "I did that look. North said she wanted braids and asked if I would do them, and that's what she did." Everyone and their mamas are worried about North West right now. Between fake tattoos, hand piercings, and being banned from school, something is seriously wrong. All right, let's talk about the internet's newest full-time job being deeply concerned about North West, a literal child. And somehow tattoos, piercings, and school drama have all entered the group chat. So let's unpack what's actually going on versus what TikTok detectives think is going on. First off, the tattoos. No, North West does not have a secret sleeve. She doesn't have a neck tattoo or a tiny face tat, that Kim is pretending not to see, allegedly. What people did see were temporary tattoos and marker-style body art that she's worn in photos and videos before. I mean, the same kind of stuff kids have been putting on their arms since birthday party goodie bags were invented. But because her mom is Kim Kardashian and the internet has zero chill, it turned into North is being allowed to get tatted at 11 or 12, however old she is now, which is simply not backed by any credible reporting, right? I mean, it's body stickers, not like a motorcycle initiation. Now, let's move on though to the piercings panic. North has been seen wearing fake nose rings and ear cuffs, which are just clip-ons. I mean, I had those when I was a kid. They're accessories, costume jewelry, if you will, the kind you can buy in a Claire starter pack next to, glitter lip gloss. Maybe my age is showing. But yeah, some outlets and social media posts ran with the idea that she had real facial piercings, but there's actually no solid confirmation from her parents or reliable sources that she had any permanent facial piercings done. It's fashion experimentation, not a midlife crisis at age 12. But she did recently showcase her hand piercings, which are just weird. I have no other words other than they look weird. I mean, I don't have a 12-year-old, but if I did, she wouldn't be allowed to get that. That's just my opinion though. What do I know, right? And now the biggest rumor. North West was banned from school. This one really took off online with people claiming her behavior, social media presence, or even her style probably got her kicked out. But there's actually no verified report from the family or reputable media confirming that she's been banned or expelled. What has been discussed publicly though is that Kim and Kanye have had very different views on their kids' schooling and upbringing, which has played out in headlines before. So that disagreement has fueled speculation, but speculation is not the same thing as a school saying, yeah, she's not allowed to come back. I mean, that's a big difference, right? Now, here's what's really probably happening. North West is being homeschooled, allegedly. This is what Kim said recently on a podcast. So yeah, either the truth or a cover up, but those are her words, not mine. Also, let's remember North is growing up in the most watched family on the planet. Every outfit, every facial expression, every craft project gets treated like a national emergency. I mean, she likes makeup, costumes, performance, and bold fashion, which tracks because her parents are literally Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. Creativity in that household is basically a food group. But online, I mean, normal kid experimentation gets framed like a crisis intervention episode. Now, there's also a bigger conversation here about kids and fame, right? I mean, let's not forget that North didn't actually choose to be famous. She was born into this. So when adults on the internet start debating her appearance, her attitude, or whether she's too grown, it gets weird fast. Concern for kids is valid, turning them into trending topics for clicks, and not so much. So right now, the tattoos aren't real. The piercings appear to be temporary or fake, minus the hand ones, which do look real. And the school band story is unconfirmed, internet rumor, not established fact. And Kim said herself that North is being homeschooled right now. So yeah, I mean, who are we not to believe the mother, right? Kanye West has officially gone from quiet ex to declaring what he calls all-out war on Kim Kardashian. Let's break this down because it's messy. Kim and North were recently spotted in Rome back in August. Cute mother-daughter trip, right? Well, until TikTok caught North dancing around in a corset-style top, a short mini skirt, and chunky platform boots. The internet did what it always does, lost its mind. Half of TikTok was cheering North on, saying she's a little style icon, carrying herself like a true Kardashian heir. The other half, well, furious, saying she's 12 years old, way too young for this kind of look, and accusing Kim of pushing her daughter into an adult aesthetic. And that's when Kanye apparently stepped in. According to insider reports, he warned Kim directly, saying this needs to stop or I'll raise hell with the lawyers. Translation, well, he's threatening to drag her into court if she doesn't change how North is being presented to the public. And if that's not dramatic enough, those same insiders claim Kanye used the words all-out war with Kim Kardashian now, of course, over their daughter's outfits. Now, Kanye threatening legal warfare isn't exactly new behavior. I mean, earlier this year, he already hinted at going nuclear over another North-related controversy. He was furious about her being referenced in one of his songs alongside Sean Diddy Combs and reportedly threatened to take legal action then too. So this whole, I'll see you in court approach seems to be his favorite weapon of choice whenever he feels his boundaries with North are being crossed. But here's the catch. None of this has been officially confirmed by either Kim or Kanye. These claims are all coming from unnamed sources close to the family. So we don't know if Kanye is really drafting legal letters or if he's just kind of ranting to his inner circle and letting the rumor mill do the work. That being said, this is hardly uncharted territory for them. I mean, Kim has already taken legal steps in the past to block Kanye from using North's name in any commercial capacity. She's made it very clear she's not okay with North being used as material for his business ventures. So the idea that the two of them would battle over image rights and parental control, well, that's not far-fetched at all. And let's be real, this is bigger than just a skirt and boots. This is about who controls the narrative around their daughter, who gets to decide what she wears, what she posts, how she's portrayed to the public. Kanye is known for being provocative and old school. I mean, the guy, who still rants about the dangers of Hollywood and the internet. Kim, on the other hand, built her empire on social media, fashion, and carefully curated public image. So when those worlds collide over a child, yeah, you're looking at a custody dispute waiting to happen. I mean, the law, by the way, doesn't make this simple. If Kanye really does try to take it to court, judges will look at custody arrangements, parental rights, and whether North herself gets a say. Courts don't usually hand over control of a child's image to one parent unless something extreme is happening. But given how public this family is and how much money and media attention is tied to their brand, you better believe every lawyer in the room would come armed for battle. People are arguing whether North is just expressing herself or whether she's being pushed into growing up too fast. Is this a mother letting her daughter experiment with fashion, or is it a dangerous form of adultification? Kim has said in the past that she loves letting North explore her own style, and she posted plenty of TikToks with her daughter, videos that rack up millions of views, by the way. But Kanye has always pushed back against North being online. He's repeatedly said he doesn't want her on TikTok at all. So here we are, a 12-year-old girl in the middle of a full-blown cultural war. On one side, a father demanding privacy, modesty, and control. On the other, a mother who built her career by embracing exposure, fashion, and spotlight, and letting her daughter do the same. Kim Kardashian just admitted she screwed up with North West. Kim Kardashian just went full confession mode, and trust me, this is the kind of admission that makes headlines and has people talking for weeks. Brace yourselves, because this isn't a cute oops moment. It's a total public parenting meltdown, Kim sat down on the Call Her Daddy podcast and got real about raising Northwest. And spoiler alert, she admits she messed up hard. She specifically mentioned North's style choices, and honestly, it's wild how much this whole thing blew up. North wanted to experiment with a bold look, corset top, short skirt, even blue hair. And Kim and Kanye basically went, whoa, not like this kid. And then, that's when the iconic parenting crash happened. Kim admitted that she and Kanye might have overstepped, not letting North fully express herself in front of the whole world. And let's be honest, when your daughter wants blue hair at age 12 and you freak out publicly, that's not just a mistake, it's like a mini scandal. The truth is this, Kim's reaction was peak celebrity parent panic. She was honest, they literally tried to control her style in the spotlight, and yeah, it backfired because guess what? North doesn't care what anyone thinks. She's like a tween. Kim revealed that when people criticize North's hair, outfits, or choices, North literally just shrugs it off. She's very confident, very bold, and already fearless in a way that makes Kim's meticulously curated public image look a little fragile. Kim admitted that, their overreaction to North's style was something they did in front of the entire world. Let that sink in. North isn't just experimenting with fashion, she's doing it under a microscope of fame, paparazzi, and social media trolls. And Kim's admitting they handled it poorly, very poorly. That's not just accountability, it's a rare, unfiltered kind of peek, behind the glossy Kardashian veil. But don't get it twisted. Kim isn't saying she's completely hands-off. She still draws lines. She's clear about boundaries in some areas, but for others, like hair color or outfit experimentation, she's learning to kind of take a step back. I mean, that's a major shift from the hyper-managed, always perfect image the Kardashians have been known for. North apparently knows what she wants, and Kim is slowly realizing that micromanaging her in public is probably not a great look. Kim also asked for a little understanding from the public. She reminded everyone that raising kids, especially in the spotlight, is very chaotic, very complicated. She has 4 children, multiple public projects, and yes, sometimes mistakes do happen. And honestly, this is a rare level of vulnerability from Kim. She's admitting straight up that fame and parenting are a very messy combo. She isn't spinning this as some calculated PR movement or move. She's owning a misstep, which in Kardashian terms is almost revolutionary. So let's not ignore the subtle receipts here. Kim has a history of controlling North's image. Remember the blue hair kerfuffle, the corset controversy, and that time North was heavily critiqued for her fashion choices. Well, add in the backdrop of Kanye's concerns, meltdowns, and whatever else about North growing up too fast in the public eye, and suddenly this admission is more than a parenting confession. It's a reflection of a family navigating fame, control, and identity, all under public scrutiny. Northwest is growing up fast, and Kim's slowly learning she can't micromanage every moment without creating public drama. The best part? North doesn't need permission to shine. She's very confident, bold, and unapologetically herself. Traits Kim is publicly admitting, they tried to suppress in the past. I mean, there's a line in this whole saga when you realize North is already more fearless than the adults trying to control her. That's not shade, it's a fact. Kim isn't perfect, she's human, she's learning. North is fierce, independent, and confident, maybe more so than her mother, and that's both hilarious and terrifying if you're Kim. But the real lesson here, fame doesn't make parenting easier, it just makes your mistakes public and viral. And for those of us watching from the sidelines, this is the most satisfying kind of celebrity confession. Raw, unfiltered, and undeniably entertaining. In the end, Kim owned her screw up. North is thriving anyway. She said herself she simply does not give a F what people think and if they don't like her fashion choices. So yeah, the world watched a style clash turn into a parenting revelation, and honestly, the internet is here for it. North will keep experimenting, Kim will keep learning, and the drama, well, that's guaranteed to continue. Kim Kardashian is under fire once again, and this time it's over her daughter Northwest's wardrobe choices during a family trip to Rome. And as usual, the internet is losing it. North, just 12 years old, was spotted walking beside her mom, towering over Kim in an outfit that fans call disturbing and wildly inappropriate for her age. So let's break it down. North is rocking a really tiny frilly mini skirt, black chunky boots, bright blue pigtails, glasses, and a heart-shaped Vivienne Westwood handbag. Basically, she looked like a high fashion model who wandered straight into a Roman piazza. Now, meanwhile, Kim herself was not exactly keeping things low-key, wearing a very sheer nightdress-like gown with a plunging neckline and lace bra underneath. Because of course she was, Unsurprisingly, social media exploded. On X, one user wrote, "What 12-year-old wears a corset? Kim really doesn't know how to be a sensible parent." Another person added, "Why do they make North look so grown? North being 12 years old is insane to me." People even started, comparing Kim's parenting to Beyonce's, with one person saying her and Beyonce are the same when it comes to how they dress their children in public. This is literally a child. Oof. Now Reddit didn't hold back either. Users pointed out that North normally dresses more age appropriately when she's not with Kim. One person wrote, I swear North only dresses hyper femme like this when she's with Kim. Normally she's in oversized baggy clothes. Others commented just saying it's simply too much. Like, I get she's a tween, but this ain't it, and that outfit is way too adult for her age. Some even said she should be the mom, not a friend, and bluntly, she's just a baby. This is disturbing at 12. I mean, the reaction was very loud, very clear, and extremely judgmental because, well, welcome to the internet. But let's pause for a second. North West is not exactly your average pre-teen. You know, she's been in the spotlight since she could walk, attending Paris Fashion Week, performing alongside her dad, and appearing in media projects that many kids her age couldn't even dream of. Now the question isn't whether she likes fashion or attention, she obviously does, but whether dressing her in adult-inspired outfits in public crosses a line, that's another story. And I mean, judging by the reactions online, a lot of people think that it does cross the line. Now this situation brings up the broader debate over celebrity kids and public exposure. Social media has blurred the line between childhood and branding, and North is right in the middle of it. Fans argue that kids should be allowed to be kids, while others defend creative expression and point out that North clearly enjoys fashion and being part of the family spotlight. I mean, it's a fine line, and one that every celebrity parent seems to walk, some gracefully, others not so much. Now what makes this particularly interesting is the dynamic between Kim and North. North is old enough to have opinions, to have a sense of style, and to participate in her own public image, but she is still a child. Wearing a corset, carrying a designer handbag, and rocking bright blue pigtails might look cute or edgy on social media, but it also sparks serious questions about childhood, parental boundaries, and the pressures of fame. North West is out of control. Has Kanye West been right this entire time? Lock in with me. Kim Kardashian's daughter North West is officially entering her menace era, and honestly the internet is exhausted trying to keep up. I mean, one minute she's a cute kid sitting front row at fashion shows, the next she's rocking finger piercings, blacked out teeth, blue hair, and an attitude that says, I do what I want and I'll see you in court. She's 12. Recently, North's personal Instagram quietly disappeared, and suddenly everyone was like, oh, so that's where Kim draws the line. Because let's be real, the content had people spiraling, the outfits were edgy, the vibe was grown, the comments were ruthless, parents everywhere were clutching their pearls, critics were asking where the adults were, and Kim allegedly stepped in and pulled the plug when things started getting way too loud online. And yes, the account eventually came back, because of course it did. I mean, this is the Kardashian universe, nothing ever disappears forever. I mean, when it returned, it wasn't baby pics or slime videos, it was studio shots, music gear, and main character energy. Translation: North isn't playing around. She's not trying to be Kim's daughter, she's trying to be a brand. But here's where people really lost it. North previewed a song where she casually raps about piercings, money, and getting banned from school like it's a flex. Not a joke, not ironic, just full confidence. The kind of confidence most adults don't even have after therapy. And suddenly everyone was asking the same question. Is this creative expression, or is this a child being pushed way too fast into grown-up territory? North's whole aesthetic lately has been unapologetically edgy. Finger piercings, heavy eyeliner, corsets, platform boots, looks that scream underground fashion scene, not middle school math class. So some fans are defending her, saying that she's just experimenting. North's whole aesthetic lately has been unapologetically edgy. Finger piercings, heavy eyeliner, corsets, platform boots, looks that scream underground fashion scene, not middle school math class. I mean, some fans are defending her, saying she's just experimenting and expressing herself. Others are saying this is what happens when a kid grows up surrounded by cameras, stylists, and zero sense of normalcy. And then there's Kanye, because of course there's Kanye. He reportedly is not thrilled about how much of North's life is being put online, especially when it comes to social media and public exposure. There's tension about, who gets final say, what's appropriate, and how much is too much. Meanwhile, North is somewhere in the middle, doing whatever she wants while her parents argue in the background like divorced stage managers fighting over the spotlight. Now, the internet has been especially brutal towards Kim, accusing her of letting things spiral. People are saying she's more focused on being the cool mom than setting boundaries. I mean, others argue Kim is just trying to let North be herself in a world that already watches her every move. Either way, the optics aren't great, when your kids' fashion choices spark, think pieces and comment wars. What makes this whole thing so wild, though, is that North genuinely seems unfazed. I mean, she's very confident, outspoken, and clearly comfortable being watched, which honestly might be the scariest part. I mean, Fame doesn't scare her. Criticism doesn't slow her down. And at 12 years old, she already knows how to command attention better than like half of Hollywood. At this point, North West isn't just a celebrity kid, she's a walking controversy generator. Every appearance turns into a debate about parenting boundaries and whether childhood even exists anymore when you're born into fame. So, is she a fearless fashion icon ahead of her time, or is this what happens when nobody ever says no because the kid is already famous? One thing's for sure, this isn't just a phase the internet will forget. North West is growing up in real time under a microscope with millions of people watching, and if someone doesn't step in and slow things down, this is going to get louder, messier, and way more chaotic, because confidence is one thing, creativity is one thing, but when a 12-year-old has the internet arguing about whether she's out of control, yeah, somebody might actually need to step in and stop her. Has North West been officially canceled? Her recent appearances have caused quite a stir, and fans are divided. North West is only 12 years old, but somehow she's already found herself in the middle of her very first public cancellation. Yes, Kim Kardashian's daughter is learning the hard way that growing up famous comes with non-stop scrutiny, even when you're still a kid. And the internet, well, it's proving to be absolutely ruthless. It all started when North launched her TikTok presence, often posting videos alongside her mom, Kim. At first, it seemed cute, lip-sync stances and funny skits, but people quickly began pointing out that North wasn't just acting like a typical preteen, she was showing off Birkin bags, flaunting luxury and questionable outfits, and even poking fun at other celebrities. Critics immediately jumped on it, accusing Kim of letting her daughter act entitled and out of touch with reality. Some even went as far as to call North a mini Kardashian villain in the making. Things escalated when North started calling herself the new Kanye. On one hand, fans thought it was hilarious and saw it as her taking after her dad's larger-than-life confidence, but others accused her of being disrespectful, pointing out Kanye's controversies and mental health struggles. Twitter exploded with thousands of posts claiming North was too young to be cosplaying as her dad's scandals. Suddenly, what should have been innocent childhood fun was, painted as a full-blown cancellation. And then came the Met Gala controversy. North didn't even walk the red carpet, she's too young, but she did sit front row alongside Kim in outfits critics called attention-seeking. When clips surfaced of North seemingly mocking paparazzi and making faces at photographers, the backlash got even worse. People accused her of being spoiled and disrespectful, while others defended her, saying she was just a kid who clearly doesn't enjoy being shoved in front of the cameras 24/7. Still, the damage was done. A cancellation hashtag with her name trended for hours. Now here's where it gets really messy. North isn't just some random kid, she's the future of the Kardashian empire. Kim and Kanye have both said publicly that North has the star power to take over the family brand one day. But after this so-called cancellation, people are now questioning whether putting her in the spotlight so young is a huge mistake. Is North being groomed for fame at a cost of, a normal childhood? Or is she just being unfairly kind of attacked because of her last name? Now, what's undeniable here is that North West is growing up in a pressure cooker, where every move is documented, judged, dissected, and filmed at that. At 12 years old, most kids are just worried about math homework and schoolyard drama, but North West, on the other hand, she's already trending worldwide and facing the full weight of cancel culture. North West may want to change her last name, and here's the tea on that. So it's no wonder North West wants to change her last name to Kardashian, because the ongoing saga between Kim Kardashian and Kanye West has officially crossed into this is exhausting and I'm a child territory. Now let's be real, Kim is reportedly considering legally changing her kid's last name from West to Kardashian. That means North, Saint, Chicago, and Psalm, potentially dropping West altogether. And honestly, after everything we've watched unfold in public, this feels less like a shock and more like a plot twist everyone saw coming. North West is old enough now to understand what exactly is going on. I mean, she sees the headlines, she hears the chaos, and she's probably thinking, why am I carrying a last name that changes personalities every other year? Because Kanye didn't just change behavior, he changed his name, his identity, his entire public persona multiple times. I mean, at some point, even a kid has to be like, can we pick a lane here? Meanwhile, Kim has been very open about the fact that she basically is a single parent in practice. I mean, she's the one doing, school runs, bedtime routines, homework, extracurriculars, and as well as emotional regulation for both the kids and sometimes the internet. I mean, Kanye, on the other hand, has been largely absent, popping up sporadically like a surprise DLC character that nobody asked for. And when he does pop up, it's rarely calm mom, it's, public rants, music controversy, extremely questionable decisions and behavior, including involving North in a song situation that reportedly made Kim furious and deeply uncomfortable. I mean, that alone is enough to make any mother go, yeah, I need to protect my kids' peace and their future as well. Because let's talk about the name itself. I mean, Kardashian is not just a last name, it's a global brand. It's controlled, it's calculated, it's protected. West at this point is unpredictable. And when you're raising 4 kids in the public eye, predictability is everything. Imagine being North and going to school knowing your last name trends on social media for literally all the wrong reasons. Imagine wanting to just exist without your dad's latest controversy being attached to you by default. So changing, her last name wouldn't be rejection, it would be self-preservation at this point. Also, let's not pretend this isn't about legacy. Kim has built an empire that's stable, strategic, and still expanding. I mean, Skims, law school, billion-dollar deals, constant reinvention that actually makes sense. The Kardashian name opens doors, it protects opportunities, and it comes with a playbook. The West name, well, right now it's like kind of a gamble, and branding matters in this family whether people like it or not. So North Kardashian sounds like a future mogul, a designer, creative director, a force. Northwest sounds like a clever baby name that accidentally grew up into a full-time headline. I mean, there's also the emotional side. When one parent is consistently present and the other is consistently chaotic or absent, kids notice that, right? I mean, loyalty forms where stability lives. If Kim is the constant, the safe space, the organizer of their entire world, then sharing her name actually just makes sense, right? Like, it's symbolic, it's grounding. People love to scream, but he's their father. And yes, biologically, but parenting is more than DNA. It's consistency, it's protection, it's showing up without turning every moment into a skeptical or spectacle. And honestly, if Kanye can change his own name whenever the vibe shifts, why is it controversial for a child to want alignment with the parent who's actually raising her? So no, it's not shocking that North might want to be a Kardashian. It's logical, it's emotional, and frankly, it's pretty on brand. I mean, because when your life is already under a microscope, at least you deserve is a last name that feels safe. Northwest went live on Instagram the other day, and it was going great until one very famous interruption turned into absolute chaos. Picture this, North is chilling, fans everywhere, and then all of a sudden you hear rustling. She turns, looks right at the camera and goes, "Why are you watching my live?" And it's Kim Kardashian walking in like she's about to steal the spotlight. North instantly transforms into the biggest fangirl on the planet. She's hyping up her mom like Kim just walked the Met Gala red carpet instead of just, kind of sauntering into North's room. North literally tells everyone watching, guys, the GOAT is here. And in case you don't know what the GOAT means, it's like greatest of all time. And Kim, completely unbothered, says something like, I hope every source, somebody recorded that. Now, classic Kardashian moment, right? And honestly, I love that. Imagine casually crashing your kid's live stream and your first thought is whether someone got footage of it. That is peak Kardashian energy right there. But then it gets even better. North being North had grand plans. She tried to turn this into a money moment. She looked at the camera and said she needed to get Kim in front of it to make some money. And Kim's reaction, it was a solid no. It was like, no, followed by like that universal mom shut down, I'm ready for bed. She was basically like, girl, we don't do that. Listen, Kim Kardashian enforcing bedtime like she's negotiating $1 billion brand deal. Yeah, that is the most 2026 parenting we've ever seen. She wasn't mad. She was just kind of like, I'm not doing this live, go to bed. Now let's be real for a second. If you let your 12-year-old run their own social media accounts with millions of followers, you gotta have some rules, right? And I mean, Kim absolutely does have rules. I mean, not no, dessert before dinner type rules, actual boundaries. This entire live had everything, jewelry, fashion, parents wandering in. North was serving looks with black grills and long nails and total confidence. And as soon as Kim entered, the whole vibe instantly switched from cool live to family sitcom chaos. And the internet had their thoughts, of course. People were totally divided. Some were calling North a style icon in the making. Others were like, why is a 12-year-old doing this at all? Social media blew up debating the grills, the wig, the whole personality. I mean, of course, whether Kim is a genius mom or just really good at putting on a show, but you have to give it up for North as well though, right? She didn't even blink. She turned, her mom crashing her live into content. She hyped her mom up. She almost tried to monetize the moment. And then she ended the live watch dream because, mom said it was bedtime, which honestly might be the most relatable Kardashian moment ever captured on the internet. Is North West being exploited by her own mother? Grab your cup and cuddle, it's tea time. The internet is absolutely losing its mind over Kim Kardashian letting 12-year-old North West strut around Rome in a corset and mini skirt, and honestly, the photos look like they were ripped straight from a high fashion magazine. But the fact that she's only 12 has people seriously divided. So here's the scene. Kim and North head out for dinner at a fancy Roman hotspot. Kim, of course, is in a silky black slip dress with lace details peeking through, classic, sultry Kardashian. But North, she shows up in full goth glam black corset top, pleated lace miniskirt, knee-high platform boots, silver jewelry, a heart-shaped Vivienne Westwood purse, and waist-length blue ombre pigtails. She looked more like the star of a runway show than a middle schooler out for pasta. Naturally, social media had a meltdown. People called the look so inappropriate and disturbing, pointing out that a corset just doesn't belong on a child. Now, others complain that Kim is pushing her daughter into the spotlight way too young, dressing her like a grown woman when she should still be in her Disney Channel era. But not everyone saw it that way. Some people defended the outfit, saying, relax, it's 2025, kids can experiment with fashion. Others even applauded North, pointing out that she's not just following trends, she's kind of setting them. And honestly, that's the truth. This kid has been building a fashion identity since before most people learned to tie their shoes. She's walked into Fashion Week, performed on stages, gone viral on TikTok, and already has plans for her own music. She's not exactly living the average 7th grader's life. Still, the criticism is very loud and it raises bigger questions. Where's the line between letting your kid express themselves and dressing them in ways that blur childhood and adulthood? A corset has historically been seen as lingerie adjacent. Pair it with a micro skirt that suddenly, it's not just edgy fashion anymore, it's kind of sparking debates about exploitation. And because it's the Kardashians, every choice is magnified under a microscope. Now, let's not pretend this is new territory. North has always had a bold wardrobe. She's been rocking oversized jackets, big boots, flashy hairstyles, and designer bags since she could literally walk. She's even styled Kim before. At this point, it's fair to say she's not just influenced by her mom, she's shaping her mom's style too. And yes, Kim knows exactly what she's doing. She's built an empire on shock value, conversation, and controversy. When Kim steps out, it's not just about dinner, it's about headlines, clicks, and keeping the Kardashian machine running. If North shows up looking like a pint-sized goth couture queen, Kim knows it will dominate timelines and headlines, and here we are, case in point, talking about it. But here's the part that really gets people. North is still a child. The corset look made her appear taller than Kim even, more adult than her age, and that's what's unsettled so many. It's one thing to wear playful fashion, it's another to blur the line between preteen and full-grown influencer. Critics argue it's Kim projecting her own image onto her daughter before she's even had a chance to grow into herself. The defenders argue the opposite. North clearly has personality, confidence, and her own taste, so why hold her back? She wants to be expressive and creative, why shouldn't she? After all, she's not exactly an average kid stuck in math class. She's been raised in the spotlight since birth. At the end of the day, this whole debate circles back to one big question. Is North West being exploited? Or is she just being North West? The Kardashians thrive on this gray area, always kind of towing the line between empowerment and controversy, expression and exploitation. And because it's happening in public, the world feels entitled to weigh in. My take, North is definitely growing into a fashion icon way earlier than most, but it's impossible to separate that from the Kardashian brand strategy. So whether she's being allowed to shine or being pushed into it, one thing is clear: every outfit, every hairstyle, every headline keeps the Kardashian legacy alive. North West's behavior is out of control. Is her mom to blame though? So let's talk about Kim Kardashian's daughter, North West. The 12-year-old just popped up on TikTok rocking a look that honestly screams adulting before algebra. We're talking a star tattoo under her eye, her name inked across her cheek, a faux septum ring, blue braids, and black grills on her teeth. Before anyone faints into their oat milk lattes, yes, the tattoos are fake, but that didn't stop the internet from losing its collective mind. Within minutes, people were online panicking like North had just joined a biker gang. The headline vibe? Well, help, North West has gone rogue. And right on cue, Kim swooped in with her classic PR, serenity, brushing it off like it's just another Tuesday in Calabasas. So her take, well, it's such a non-issue. That's right, the woman who made contouring a cultural movement woman thinks fake tattoos on her 12-year-old are not a big deal. Translation for that is really just relax, it's just self-expression and probably a little product placement. But here's the thing, this isn't just, a kid having fun with a marker and an attitude. This is a glimpse into the Kardashian world where playing dress up means turning your preteen into a fully styled mini influencer. North isn't putting on mom's heels and, prancing around the living room. She's posting videos from private jets with full-on aesthetics and luxury filters. I mean, that's not playing, that's producing. Now, Kim loves to talk about how she lets her kids express themselves, and sure, that's great in theory, but self-expression hits different when your playground is the internet and your mom is one of the most famous women on the planet. Because when North experiments, she's not doing it in private. I mean, she's doing it for millions of people, and every comment, every headline, every screenshot becomes part of her identity before she's even hit high school. So is North's behavior really out of control? I mean, maybe not in the traditional, teenage meltdown sense, but in the context of a normal childhood, oh, absolutely. Because there's nothing normal about being 12 and going viral for fake tattoos and grills while sitting on a private jet. That's the celebrity kid version of going off the rails, not because she's bad, but because the environment is chaos disguised as freedom. And who's steering that chaos? Well, let's be real, it's Kim. North didn't just build this hyper-curated world. I mean, she was born into it. So, North isn't out of control. She's kind of perfectly on brand, which honestly is a little scarier. Kim keeps saying, I'm just letting her be herself, but when yourself is shaped by fame, filters, and $1 billion spotlight, how much of that is really your choice? North doesn't even get a chance to be bored, awkward, or invisible, the luxury, every kid deserves, because her life is content. So yeah, Kim, your daughter's behavior is out of control a little bit, but it's only because the world you built doesn't have any breaks. You gave a 12-year-old a social media empire, a glam squad, and a global audience that acted surprised, or then you acted surprised when she started performing. That's not a non-issue, that's a parenting strategy with a Kardashian logo stamped on it. Now, who could forget footage from when Kim Kardashian told women in business they needed to get their ASS up and go to work? Well, no one, but Kim sure wishes it never got leaked and allegedly begged Variety magazine to not go forward with actually showing it. Now, the second this infamous interview got leaked, Kim faced immediate backlash and scrutiny. Kim, the daughter of famed lawyer Rob Kardashian and Hollywood socialite Kris, then Kardashian, now Jenner, obviously very much born into privilege and wealth, trying to tell everyday folk to get up and just work, clearly did not sit well with anyone. Now, the footage got spread like wildfire and Kim almost shut down her socials for a whole month because of it. At some point, she tried to kind of pedal back and say her recent comments about work ethic and finding success weren't meant to be a dig at women, but that they were just the reality of working hard to achieve your goals when everyone else doubts you. Kim says the whole thing was taken out of context, telling Robin Roberts on Good Morning America, "My message was to anyone who wants to be successful in building a business or brand, having come from that very specific space. Reality show or social media fame is to work hard. It's not easy. You don't just post something on social media and overnight you become a success." A source who was there for the interview tells Kim that, she made it clear her comment was not directed at women, but it was a part of her own personal experience, saying, "After 20 years at this, I'm still put in the box of famous for being famous. I heard someone say that to me when we did that interview, and that's why my demeanor and tone shifted." Now, despite the fact that Kim was born into a very wealthy, well-connected family and skyrocketed to fame thanks to reality TV and a certain tape, cough cough, she explained that she thought the problem with people in business was that no one wanted to work. Something about Kim Kardashian saying, "Get your bleeping behind up and work." It seems like nobody want to work these days. You have to surround yourself with people that want to work and have a good work environment while everyone loves what they do. That just didn't sit right in anyone's soul. So, and while it's true that you have to work really hard to reap the benefits, it's definitely not as simple as that for people who aren't born into wealth and fame. Kim faced backlash from viewers who called her out for ignoring her upbringing's role in her success and how many people do work hard but aren't fairly financially compensated. Now, despite this footage being a couple years old now, it's still being talked about. It's still a hot topic, and it's still something that haunts Kimmy to this day. Kim's designer debacle. Now, Kimmy sparked some irritation from fans when she posted a now deleted video showcasing free goods she received from Dolce & Gabbana to her Instagram stories way back in January of 2019. Now, followers were outraged by the post, many pointing out that the controversial brand, has come under fire multiple times over the years, most notably though for a 2015 interview with Italian magazine Panorama, in which the designing duo Stefano Gabbana and Domenico Dolce referred to IVF babies as chemical offsprings and synthetic children. Really bad. And to know off that, Kim actually became pregnant with her second child, Saint, through IVF and her others as well. So yeah, it's kind of awkward. But people weren't pleased and very outraged, to put it lightly. Now, Dolce and Gabbana later apologized for this very inappropriate statement and said that they regretted it deeply, I'm sure. Kim Kardashian's Halloween costume had fans and onlookers saying, "Girl, what is you doing?" Now, Kimmy thought it would be a good idea to dress as Aaliyah for Halloween one year, and despite regretting the decision, once the vids and pics got leaked, there was just no turning back. The costume specifically recreated the look from Aaliyah's Try Again music video, if you can remember that, which included a custom bra top and J brand leather pants. So of course, people criticized Kim's costume, arguing that it was insensitive and disrespectful to Aaliyah, who was an iconic black singer and a cultural phenomenon. Now, the social media mogul issued an apology after. Many Twitter users basically called her, Halloween costume offensive back in October of 2017. Kim actually wrote on her website, "Aaliyah was such an amazing singer and she will be forever, a music legend. I saw online that some people thought my costume was in poor taste, and I am truly sorry if that offended anyone. We don't see color in my home. We were paying homage to people and artists we love and respect. It's that simple." Okay, Kimmy. Kim Kardashian Shape Up's controversy is one for the books. Now, the breakup to Shape Up commercial for Skechers that features Kim Kardashian, who tells her trainer she's basically leaving him because she's shape-upping instead, referencing Skechers Shape Up's athletic footwear, caused the company to be sued to the gods by consumers. Now, she's seen saying goodbye to him, then complimenting another man wearing the same sneakers. Weird. The commercial, directed by Chris Applebaum, is a tongue-in-cheek take on a relationship breakup to promote the Skechers footwear. The commercial effectively links the Skechers Shape Ups to a lifestyle change, potentially suggesting that the shoes will help viewers achieve their fitness goals, thus Shape Up. Skechers Inc. was forced to pay a whopping $40 million in refunds to customers in order to settle charges by the Federal Trade Commission that stated that the footwear company made unfounded claims about its Shape Up shoes. Promoted through the use of Kim Kardashian, as a brand spokesperson, the shoes had promised to help people lose weight and strengthen their butt, leg, and stomach muscles, which obviously did not happen for consumers. Let's be honest, it didn't happen for Kim either. That's not how she got in shape. We know how she got her toned figure, for the most part at least. Now, the clunky shoes were supposed to tone, women's behind and thighs just from walking, but many customers were unhappy with the results, obviously. Now, the Better Business Bureau page featured dozens of complaints of back pain. Customers also said they didn't see the toning results that were promised. Now, after this huge debacle, Kim understandably was so embarrassed, to say the least, but also begged to have the commercials removed virtually everywhere, as she just didn't want anyone, including her own children, to have to see it one day. Well, fast forward, and unfortunately for Kim, the footage is alive and well, and although still cringe AF, she did poke fun at it in a TikTok video with her daughter Northwest. One of the stars, ads which showed her posing in a pink sports bra with a very controversial sneaker hovering beside her appeared on screen, while a soundbite exclaimed, "Bro, if you got Skechers on, get out of my face." The clip then cuts to Kim and North sitting beside one another on a couch as they kind of mouth the remainder of the audio, which was just bizarre gibberish. Kim Kardashian and her sisters Khloe and Kourtney were slapped with a $5 million lawsuit over Get Fit Quick diet pills and supplements from Quick Trim. The pills, which are supposed to allow users to keep up with the Kardashians, and trim physiques, didn't work, of course, according to legal documents. Now, that's a shocker, right? 4 customers claim the Kardashians, made false claims when reporting through tweets and commercials that they used the products in order to slim down. They were seeking $5 million in damages for the deceptive marketing, claiming that the diet pill's main ingredient, caffeine, is not recognized as a safe or effective weight loss product by the FDA. Quick Trim advertisements show the Kardashian clan in very skimpy bikinis, flaunting their fit bodies while promoting the pills. The plaintiffs, who live live in New York, California, and Florida at the time, stated in their lawsuit that the claims made by Quick Trim and by the Kardashians marketing, it was false, misleading, and just, substantiated. Now, they added there was no competent and reliable scientific evidence supporting any of the claims. The lawsuit, which was filed by the law firm of Bursar and Fisher, had to be certified by a judge as a class action complaint before it could actually cover a wider field of consumers than the 4 plaintiffs. Now, Quick Trim products, which range basically from pills to powdered drink mixes, are designed to detoxify and clean the body by eliminating extra water weight and bloating, in large part because of the laxatives they include, according to the company. Now, the products are available nationwide at more than 25,000 retail chains, including Walmart, Walgreens, GNC, all those places. But many of Kim Kardashian's millions of Twitter fans tweeted at the time that, inspired by her, they were going to give it a try. Kim since hasn't promoted any weight loss pills for obvious reasons, of course. Now, she did, however, promote a Get Slim lollipop, which, had its own share of clapbacks and controversy. They never learn, do they? Kim was accused of styling her hair in a way that, came across pretty racist to many people. Kim has been accused of cultural appropriation at least 3 times in recent years, maybe more, after rebranding historic hairstyles. Now, the first time came in 2016 when she became obsessed with a look the family renamed boxer braids, but the hairstyle, which Kim actually was accused of taking, the credit for, was actually just cornrows, which is really famously known. Now, in 2018, she courted controversy again after renaming another hairstyle the Bo Derek. Culture experts told Allure magazine at the time they were actually Fulani braids and had been worn by black women for years, decades, centuries, even millennials. Now, Kim further sparked outrage again when she rocked braids for the MTV Movie and TV Awards. Twitter users actually fumed over the style being considered, very cool and stylish on Kim, but unkept and unprofessional on black women. Now, during an interview, Kim defended herself and claimed that she didn't see the backlash over her sporting braids in the past. She said, "I did that look because North said she wanted braids and asked if I would just do them with her."
Now, starting off, we have Dancing with the Stars. Yes, Kim was once a contestant on Dancing with the Stars, and it did not go well. In 2008, she appeared on the show and paired up with professional dancer Mark Ballas. They were eliminated during week 3, but not before Kim had tried her hand at twerking. Yep, you heard that right. Now, she later joked about her awful dancing skills during an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Now, in 2015, Mark opened up about the partnership in an interview with the Orlando Centennial. "She wasn't the best dancing partner. I love her. She's awesome. We became good friends," he said. Dancing was not her thing, but she's a great girl. Next up is her get up and work comments. In March 2022, Kourtney, Kim, and Khloe Kardashian, alongside their mother Kris Jenner, did an interview for Variety. Now, during the interview, Kim was asked to offer women in business advice, and she responded with, "Get your effing ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days." Now, her sister Kourtney chimed in as well, saying, "That's so true." Now, this outraged fans, noting that both sisters were born wealthy and were given a head start in life. Now, Kim would soon regret saying this as for the backlash and for the memes. Variety then posted the clip to TikTok, gaining over 3.3 million views in 6 days. Now, it was probably one of the most out of touch comments Kim's ever made, and it's just gross because her family agreed with her. Now we have the Marilyn Monroe dress. Kim wanted to stand out at the 2022 Met Gala, and what better way to do that than wear an iconic dress that was worn by Marilyn Monroe. Now, although it was a moment in history, it caused a lot of problems. When Kim arrived on the carpet, she revealed that she had to lose 16 pounds in 3 weeks in order to fit into the gown. Now, following this, many slammed Kim for appearing to promote a toxic and dangerous mindset about body image and weight loss. All of this, though, got covered up with another scandal, as it was claimed that Kim actually damaged and ripped the real Marilyn Monroe dress. Now, she denied it, but a Monroe collector is claiming that the dress has sustained permanent damages as a result, and frustrations have been renewed. Scott Fortner, a collector who works to authenticate and verify Monroe memorabilia, shared photos of the dress taken that appear to show stretched and buckling fabric, along with missing crystals or ones left hanging by a thread. Then there's how the crew was treated. Now, reports have surfaced that the Kardashians were very kind to the camera crew when Keeping Up with the Kardashians first started in 2007. However, as the show progressed and the family gained more fame, their kindness and respect for the crews they worked worked with dwindled, causing unpleasant and unfriendly moments behind the scenes. Now, according to The Sun, the Kardashians repeatedly berated crew members and made unreasonable demands on anyone in their path. Additionally, the girls often try to direct what happens or demand multiple reshoots of simple moments on the show to place themselves in the best light they can at the expense of the rest of the family and crew. Not to mention, the Kardashian housekeepers claim the girls never cleaned up after themselves, yet expected their rooms and closets to always be camera ready. Now, while there's no doubt that the Kardashian women are busy with their show, some have argued that they don't have the right to be so demanding of the housekeepers who help tend their homes. Now, this even led to a lawsuit in 2021, as reported by NBC News, with 7 workers claiming that Kim failed to pay overtime, cover expenses, and provide legally mandated breaks, while expecting them to always be on call to pick up after her. Moving on to getting booed. Kim Kardashian appeared at Tom Brady's roast. Now, the roast, which aired live on Netflix, is now missing some notable footage from when Kim first took the spotlight. Live viewers couldn't miss the crowd's boos after host Kevin Hart introduced her, but in the version currently available on Netflix, Kim is greeted exclusively by applause. Now, as Kim makes her way to the stage, the audience's only audible reaction is applause, as it was in the original broadcast. "Thank you so much, Kevin," she says in this edited version, as she then makes a joke about his height. But that's not what happened in real life. In the live broadcast, when Kim made an earlier attempt to deliver that first joke, it was interrupted by significant booing from the crowd following the initial applause. Now, after saying, "I know a lot of people make fun of your height," she looked away from the teleprompter with irritation. All right, she said. Now, on Netflix, the roast includes a message that says, "Edited from a previous live stream," but people who saw the stream live know what happened and were already talking about it online, as it wasn't a secret. Now we have her music career. Back in 2010, Kim decided to try out a career in the music industry. In 2011, she dropped her debut music video, Jam, Turn It Up, but the music career of Kim was very short-lived, and it was the first and last song that she sang. Now, Kim had worked on the track with some very talented people and had revealed that a portion of the proceeds from the song's sale would be donated to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. However, the song did not turn out to be very successful. The New York Daily News had called Kim the worst singer in the reality TV universe. Kim never sang again, except for her mom Kris Jenner's birthday celebration music video in the year 2015. Now, according to Rolling Stone, Kim had revealed on an episode of Watch What Happens Live that she regrets singing the track. The reality TV star revealed on the show that making Jam Turn It Up was a memorable experience and allowed her to raise money for cancer, but that she considered the track to be her biggest mistake. Now, she further said that she does not like it when people do things they are not good at, and for herself, she thinks that she does not have a good voice to be a singer, therefore she should not have sung the track. I mean, it appears that it was for a good cause, but still, Kim did horrible, but at least she can acknowledge that. Now let's talk about her acting debut. Yes, you might not know it, but before Kim starred in American Horror Story, she had a role in the 2008 comedy Disaster Movie. Kim starred alongside Carmen Electra and Vanessa Milano before she was slammed by a meteorite. Now, as expected, the movie only got a 1% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, during an appearance on the ABC reality show Big Fan almost a decade after the film premiered, Kim revealed that she's not particularly proud of this one. "I'm mortified if you have the clip," she admitted. "I can't watch." And yeah, I can't blame her here. It was a rough watch for sure. She had no business being in that movie at all. Then there's She Stole Kimoji. David Liebenson was a software developer who worked with Kim on her Kimoji. Now, David and 2 colleagues invented the Kardashian-themed emoji range, which resulted in thousands of downloads a second, and the app supposedly generating $1 million a minute. But they didn't see a cent after their deal fell apart, as Kim and her no-nonsense lawyer, Marty Singer, gave them little option but to walk away from developing Kimoji, losing out on a fortune. Now, David sued Kim for $300 million in 2019, claiming she stole his idea and ran away with the trademark. David and his colleagues had initially agreed on a deal with Kardashian's team for a profit share on Kimoji and an anti-cyberbullying app that they created called Censorgram, which Kim was eager to be the face of before the deal went south. Now, David says he was forced to withdraw his $300 million lawsuit as his legal fees spiraled out of control along with the rest of his life. Now, David said he's got nothing nothing left to lose and has created a website called www.kimkardashianruinedmylife.com to spread his message and raise money. Next up is Kim getting kicked off stage by Prince. On Prince's Welcome to Tour, which saw the legendary artist perform over 80 shows from 2010 to 2012, traveled across North America, and cemented his legacy with a series of critically acclaimed shows. Now, on the final night of his Madison Square Garden residency, Prince hunted for someone in the star-studded front rows to join him on stage. He then spotted Kim and asked her to join him and immediately began dancing around her. Now, for those of you who don't know, Kim hates dancing, so why she agreed to go up on stage, I don't know. She laughed nervously while standing in place and clapping for him before Prince instructed her to get off my stage. Now, Kim later discussed the incident during an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I was just so nervous and I was just like laughing. To my defense, like, didn't Prince watch Dancing with the Stars? Like, I'm not a good dancer. Now, following this moment, Prince and Kim would never meet again. He never forgot her performance on stage with him, as he refused to take part in an episode of New Girl alongside members of her family, according to Zooey Deschanel. Yikes. And lastly, we have Kim's lost earring. One of the most iconic scenes in Keeping Up with the Kardashians history is when the family was vacationing in Bora Bora in 2011. Kim was with Chris Humphries at the time, and he threw her into the ocean while she was wearing her clothes. Kim then noticed that her $75,000 earrings she was wearing were no longer in her ears. She then began crying and turns hysterical. When her sister Kourtney finds out what happens, she iconically exclaims, "There's people that are dying, Kim." Now, Kylie later found the earrings shortly after Kim lost them, but Kim's bratty reaction would last forever in a meme form. Now, Kim explained years later to People magazine why the earrings caused such a reaction. 4 years for my birthday, I buy myself a birthday present and I had upgraded that pair of diamond studs. Worked really hard, I had just gotten them and I didn't insure them. And imagine if you don't insure something and it's gone. I just threw that money away. Then she defended her reaction during E's 10th anniversary special in 2017, telling viewers that while she could see Kourtney's point now, people just don't realize how much those jewels meant to her.
First up, Kanye West. Kim and Kanye were one of the most hated couples during the almost 7 years that they were together. They took their relationship public in the spring of 2012, and after that, it was just mayhem. Kanye, who had been pursuing her for some time, name-dropped his future partner in his 2012 single, Cold, saying, "And I'll admit, I had fell in love with Kim around the same time she had fell in love with him." By June of 2012, Kim was calling herself a proud girlfriend, and by the end of the year, she was pregnant with the couple's first child, Northwest, who was born in June of 2013. Kanye proposed to Kim in October of 2013, and the couple wed in Florence, Italy soon after. While they were together, Kim and Kanye had more than their fair share of cringy couple moments. Everyone remembers the music video for Bound 2 because it left a lot of people feeling uncomfortable. So during that video, Kanye rides a motorcycle through the desert, and he's joined by Kim, who's completely in the nude. In every single shot. Like, every single one. They're either kissing or caressing each other, which is nearly impossible to watch without cringing. And while their relationship was messy, the divorce was even messier. When Kim moved on with Pete Davidson, Kanye was extremely threatened. So one of the things that Kanye did to mess with Pete was he posted a photo of a fake New York Times cover on Insta with the headline reading, "Skeet Davidson is dead at age 28. Then he made a social media post saying, "Hold your spouse close, make sure they know how much you love and appreciate them, because there is a skeet lurking in every dirty alleyway waiting to help destroy your family. And walk around in Calvin jeans around your children." So after the divorce, it seems like Kanye set out to ruin Kim's love life. Kim and Ray J met when she was working for his older sister Brandy in 2005. Ray said, "To be honest, the whole thing started off wrong. We'd known each other for a while before we dated, and there was a mutual attraction, but she was married. She let me know she wanted to get with me, and after that, I kind of felt obligated to be with her." Last year, Kris Jenner went on the Late Late Show with James Corden, where she was strapped to a lie detector and interviewed about the infamous tape that was released in 2007 of Kim and Ray J. Kris denied the years-long speculation that she was involved in its production, and once the results came back, it seemed as though she was telling the truth. Of course, Kim kept up with this narrative too, but neither of them had expected Ray J to respond to the interview. He appeared on Instagram Live with a full presentation to prove that she was lying. He showed screenshots of the text messages that Kanye West had sent him, asking for the original tapes because he had wanted to give them back to Kim. In the messages, Kanye asks if there's a time where the two can meet or talk to discuss the matter further. In a response, Ray J said, "I got 2 kids and a tech company. Why would I involve myself in this? I'm so past this, bro. I'm assuming you know the full story from 05, right? How it happened, who brokered the deal, who put it all together, etc." This is when Ray J made the most shocking revelation ever. He said, Kris Jenner is the one who made us shoot the second tape in Santa Barbara. He then claimed that Kris orchestrated the filming of the last tape and even watched them to decide which was best. Alrighty, time for Pete Davidson. So this coupling happened on the set of Saturday Night Live. Kim later said that she felt a spark when they shared a kiss during their Aladdin comedy sketch. But people started cringing at the relationship when Kim started spilling a few too many details of their bedroom life. While some people appreciated the honesty, others thought it was a bit too much. Then there was the tattoos. Fans thought it was a huge red flag that Pete had tattoos of Kim and her 4 kids. Now that they've broken up, it seems like it was a poorly thought out permanent decision. One of the tattoos Pete had dedicated to Kim said, "My girl is a lawyer," which he got to celebrate her passing the baby bar. He also got the names Aladdin and Jasmine with an infinity symbol between them, which is that reference to that first kiss on SNL. And the 4 children? Yeah, it was the initials, reading KNSCP. But of course, Kim didn't get any cheesy couple tattoos done of herself, and that really says a lot about the differences between them. One of the biggest complications of this relationship was Kanye West. Like I mentioned before, he was just so threatened by the idea of his ex-wife moving on with Pete that he made it his mission to try and make his life hell. As a result, fans felt bad that Pete had to go through all of that because you could tell it was really putting a strain on his mental health. While it was great that he did stand by Kim during all the Kanye drama, clearly at some point it became too much for anybody to have to put up with. As Perez Hilton reported, in 2017, Kim Kardashian was the very first girl that Nick Lachey was spotted on a date with after his split from Jessica Simpson. It was only one date, but of course, conveniently, they were photographed by paparazzi on said date, which does make it seem like it was a PR relationship. One of the editors who commented on the story said, "That was one of the early stunts that backfired. We tried to get her to F Nick so she could be a celebrity girlfriend. She would literally bake him a basket of muffins and try to get him to come to her place, and he wouldn't go. So they went to dinner somewhere in the North Valley and we had paparazzi there. But our paparazzi told all the other paparazzi, so it was a mess." That's their version of the events. But interestingly enough, Kim Kardashian's team denies this, and it's unlikely they would ever admit to one of their relationships being fake. Kris Humphries proposed to Kim on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians after 6 months of dating, and the two wed in August of 2011. 72 days later, she filed for divorce. Kim eventually told Andy Cohen that she knew their marriage was doomed during the honeymoon, but she went through it because of the pressure from getting older. She was 30 years old at the time and thought, "I'd better get married." That 72-day marriage had certainly shown signs that it was going to end quickly. Like a few days before Kim divorced Kris, I think it was day 68, the couple was spotted arguing in their car while out on a dinner date in Hollywood. The newlywed couple was photographed heading back to Kim's car after dinner, and you could see the tension in the air. Kris looked fed up, and Kim was giving her new husband the death stare while yelling and waving her hands at him as the argument was escalating. This very public fight was kind of indicative that their relationship was on the rocks, because, well, that same year, Kim went to file for divorce and get the marriage annulled. The LA Times even reported that Kim had only married him to increase ratings on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The best part was that Kris asked for a $7 million divorce settlement from his ex-wife, otherwise he threatened to make her endure an ugly public trial. But the NBA star ended up walking away with literally nothing. When speaking about their marriage, Kris said, "Look, I should have known what I was getting into. I was definitely naive about how much my life was going to change. But the one thing that really bothers me is whenever people say my marriage was fake. There's definitely a lot about that world that is not entirely real, but our actual relationship was 100% real. When it was clear that it wasn't working, what can I say? It sucked." Nick Cannon and Kim were briefly an item. In fact, he may have accidentally torched his relationship with Mariah Carey by recounting this fact in 2014 when he said, "It's been a lot of people since me." A few months later, it was reported that the admission reportedly humiliated Mariah Carey, and that's when the relationship between her and Nick Cannon never recovered. The two of them filed for divorce in 2014, and that was finalized 2 years later, but things ended poorly also between Kim and Nick, because the two of them were seen ignoring each other when they turned up at the same fashion event. And in this case, it's kind of clear that she was the one who dodged the bullet. Since 2011, Nick has had 11 children with 6 different women, and I think he at least has one more on the way. It's a lot of kids. Kim and Reggie Bush dated off and on from 2007 to 2010. There was a bit of controversy about the two of them reuniting, and apparently up until her 2011 wedding to Kris Humphries, Reggie was still pining for Kim and sending her texts and voicemails telling her she's making a mistake and that he's the one for her. But things between them were clearly not meant to be. A few years later in 2012, Amber Rose went on to claim that Kim cheated on Reggie with Kanye and called her a homewrecker. She said, Kim was one of the main reasons why me and Kanye are not together. She's a homewrecker. They were both cheating on me and Reggie with each other. What an absolute mess. It was reported in April of 2010 that famed soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo and Kim had hooked up during her vacation to Madrid, and they met at an event at the Beverly Hills Hotel. Sadly, by August, he'd moved on, and newspapers everywhere were shooting down rumors that he and Kim were back together. Although it's worth noting that this is not the only sports star she's had a fling with. Kim and Tom Brady have become pretty friendly recently, as it was said that Kim is looking to buy a vacation home in Tom's neighborhood at Baker's Bay and Gulf Ocean Club. This neighborhood is an exclusive members-only residential community in the Bahamas, by the way. She flew to the Bahamas just recently and was spotted touring the resort. A source close to her told Page 6 that Kim and Tom are friendly. She phoned him and asked for his advice on Baker's Bay. She's very familiar with the community, and she's been eyeing property there for quite some time. Other insiders have since come forward saying that they do know each other, but they aren't involved romantically. But hey, if she moves to the neighborhood, maybe their friendship could turn into something more. It was reported in July of 2010 that Kim and Miles Austin looked pretty happy together. They were canoodling all night. He's a pretty shy and low-key guy, so he's perfect for her. Which sounded promising, but of course, the relationship was not meant to last. And whatever it was, it would fizzle by September, leading newspapers to report that they are not getting back together, they are just friends. And sometimes, that's just the way it ends. And last but not least, it was reported in October of 2010 that serial celebrity dater John Mayer had his eye on the curvy Kim Kardashian, referencing a night out that the pair had with friends to see if they would hit it off. It was reported that the two of them had been on several dates by themselves after the group situation, but clearly nothing came out of that outing, because by May of 2019, John was denying any reports that he was dating Kourtney Kardashian. It's no surprise though, considering the singer is a bit of a playboy. His reputation as a womanizer definitely precedes him, especially with Jessica Simpson. So that couple dated for a year, but they broke up like several times throughout the relationship. In fact, sources close to the couple told People that things were always on and off between the pair, and they had arguments constantly. Unfortunately, 2006 marked the year that they split for good. The couple was on vacation in Mexico when photos of them arguing in the balcony of their room hit the papers. Jessica looked like she was in tears, as it was undoubtedly a breakup. The news of their split came out shortly after the photos were released.
One of the most iconic VMA moments to ever happen was in 2009 when Taylor Swift was accepting her VMA for Best Female Video. Suddenly, in the middle of her speech, Kanye West stormed the stage and took the microphone from her and said the infamous line, "Yo Taylor, I'm really happy for you, I'ma let you finish, but Beyonce has one of the best videos of all time." Now this created a feud, and it appeared that the pair had seemingly made up in 2015 after being seen together at an award show and posting on social media, but that changed in 2016. Kanye dropped his song Famous, which had the line, "I and Taylor might still have why I made that be famous." Now he claimed that he had Taylor's permission, which she denied. However, Kim stepped in to defend her then husband, saying that Taylor totally approved that, and then went a step further by releasing a video of a phone call between Taylor and Kanye in which you can hear them discussing the song in question. Kim then made the internet turn against Taylor and had people flood Taylor's comments with snake emojis. Taylor then went into hiding, but in 2020 it was revealed that the video Kim had posted was edited. Taylor then broke her silence about the video through an Instagram story where she lightly shaded Kim by writing that she was telling the truth the whole time and that somebody, aka Kim, edited and manipulated it to frame her. Since then, a lot of people have turned on Kim and Kanye, and they hate them for trying to frame Taylor. Next up is her robbery. In October 2016, Kim was robbed at weapon point in her Paris hotel room, with around $10 million worth of jewelry being taken. Kim had been staying at the Hotel de Portels for Paris Fashion Week when the masked men broke in. They tied her up and duct taped her mouth and eyes shut. Then, during a sit-down interview with David Letterman in 2020, Kim described the evening as 7 or 8 minutes of torture. Thankfully, Kim did not sustain any physical injuries during the heist, but she was left mentally scarred by the ordeal and had flashbacks and anxiety attacks. It was later revealed that the intruders, a group of men in their 60s and 70s, had been planning the burglary for 2 years before the attack and had used her social media pages to organize the heist in its entirety. French police said that Kim's use of Snapchat may have alerted the robbers to the jewelry that she had with her in Paris, as well as the fact that she was in her hotel room alone. Then there's Kanye harassing her. So we all know that Kim harassed Taylor Swift, but Kanye West ended up harassing her, giving her a taste of her own medicine. On February 7th, 2022, Pete Davidson publicly called Kim his girlfriend for the first time in a video interview with People. "I either just hang with my friends or chill with my girlfriend inside," he casually told the outlet. Then they became more public with their relationship, but in August 2022 they broke up. According to E! News, who first broke the story, the pair's busy work schedules and being long distance contributed to their decision to part ways. Now, part of this breakup probably though had to do with Kanye. It seemed like Kanye was obsessed with this couple. Kanye wrote a song about Pete and how much he hates him, and in the music video he literally ended Pete's life. He bullied Pete all over the internet and went on tangent after tangent on social media about Kim, often leaving her in tears. Now let's talk about North West. Kim's first child, North West, sure is something. She's pretty much a copy of her father, Kanye West. Kim has shed light on North's outgoing personality and admitted that she takes after her father, who is certainly no stranger when it comes to pushing boundaries. Kim said, "Absolutely, I mean North West is Kanye West's daughter. Forget that, she's his twin. She's blunt with her mother, telling her when her outfit looks bad, and she tells people her mom's secrets." Now when speaking about North on her show, Kim said, "North is really special and smart and creative and definitely beats to her own drum. Her personality is really silly." She continued by saying, "Courtney always says that North is my lesson on this planet. It means I'm supposed to learn more patience. She teaches me patience. She has taught me a lot about life." Now it seems like North could be her karma. Moving on to her rough pregnancies. Kim has 4 children, but she only gave birth to 2 of them because of her rough pregnancies. For her last 2 children, she ended up getting a surrogate because it was too dangerous for her. During her second birth, she suffered from placenta erecta, the same condition she experienced with her first pregnancy with daughter North. Now the reality star opened up about her past pregnancy complications in a post on her website when discussing her concerns about childbirth the second time around. She said, "I was able to get pregnant through that with my son Saint, and then I had 2 embryos left. I had the same condition, same awful delivery that I had with my first daughter," she said in the video. "After that, I had to have 5 different operations within a year and a half to fix the damage that all that did on the inside." Now both children she birthed were happy and healthy though, and going for a surrogate for the next 2 was probably a good idea. Then there's being called out for Photoshop. Kim has been called out for photoshopping her photos for years now. Now one of the most shocking times was when she photoshopped photos of her own daughter and nieces, which is just crazy. But some fans were able to spot photos where she removed entire body parts from herself. In August 2022, Kim promoted her collaboration with Beats by Dre with photos and videos of herself enjoying some pool time, but eagle-eyed TikTok users noticed that the reality star appeared to edit out her trapezius muscles. Kim K is notorious for photoshopping out her traps, the user Caroline began in a video. Why, I don't know, maybe it makes her neck look smaller. In January 2022, Kim posted photos from her Skims swim collection photo shoot, only for fans to immediately notice that her leg appeared warped and featured a curve behind her knee. "Kim, what happened to your leg?" one fan commented, while another hinted on Twitter, Kim, your right leg is." The reality star was quick to delete and then repost the photo without the error, but her followers were quick to take screenshots of the mishap. Now let's talk about the fake flower. In 2012, Kim created a new fragrance and had a launch party for it, but things didn't go as planned. Someone unleashed a flower bomb on Kim, ruining her outfit and yelling what sounded like "lousy fur hag." Now at the time of the attack, it was speculated that a PETA activist had thrown the flower, as the organization previously condemned Kim's former love of real fur. But recently, Kim's former media strategist claims that her infamous 2012 flower bomb attack was actually a manufactured media moment. A PR professional who worked with Kim starting around 2005 claimed that the incident was an inside job, according to the British Channel 4 documentary, The Kardashians' Billion-Dollar Dynasty. Now, sources close to the situation told the Post that Kim was never aware of the move and placed the blame on PETA, the animal rights organization that was originally speculated to be behind the incident. But it wouldn't surprise me if she was behind this, as her career was just starting out and it would give her more media coverage. On to the Met Gala dress drama. When Kim arrived at the 2022 Met Gala in the Marilyn Monroe dress, she revealed that she had to lose 16 pounds in 3 weeks in order to fit into the gown. Now following this, many slammed Kim for appearing to promote a toxic and dangerous mindset about body image and weight loss. Now in Kim's defense though, her trainer maintained that she lost the weight in a healthy way. All of this though got covered up with another scandal, as it was claimed that Kim actually damaged and ripped the real Marilyn Monroe dress. She denied it, but a Monroe collector is claiming that the dress has sustained permanent damages as a result, and frustrations have been renewed. Scott Fortner, a collector who works to authenticate and verify Monroe memorabilia, shared photos of the dress that were taken after the Met that appear to show stretched and buckling fabric, along with missing crystals or ones left hanging by a thread. Up next is being kicked off the stage by Prince. On Prince's Welcome to Tour, which saw the legendary artist perform over 80 shows from 2010 to 2012, he traveled across North America and cemented his legacy with a series of critically acclaimed shows. Now on the final night of his Madison Square Garden residency, Prince hunted for someone in the star-studded front rows to join him on stage. He then spotted Kim and asked her to join him on stage, and he immediately began dancing around her. Now for those of you who don't know, Kim hates dancing, so why she agreed to go on stage, I don't know. She laughed nervously while standing in place and clapping for him before Prince instructed her to get off my stage. Kim later discussed the incident during an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians when she told Ryan Seacrest, "I was just so nervous and I was just like laughing. To my defense, like, didn't Prince watch Dancing with the Stars? Like, I'm not a good dancer." Now following this moment, Prince and Kim would never meet again. He never forgot her performance on stage with him, as he refused to take part in an episode of New Girl alongside members of her family, according to Zooey Deschanel. And finally we have the diamond earring. In one of the most iconic scenes in Keeping Up with the Kardashians history, the family was vacationing in Bora Bora in 2011. Kim was with Chris Humphries at the time, and he threw her into the ocean while she was wearing her clothes. Kim then noticed that her $75,000 earrings she was wearing were no longer in her ears. She then begins to cry and turns hysterical. When her sister Kourtney finds out what happened, she iconically exclaims, "There's people that are dying, Kim." Now Kim explained years later to People magazine why the earrings caused such a reaction. She said, "For years for my birthday, I buy myself a birthday present, and I had upgraded that pair of diamond studs. I worked really hard, I had just gotten them, and I didn't insure them. And imagine if you don't insure something and it's gone. I just threw the money away." Now, her little sister Kylie did find the earrings, but hopefully it put things into perspective for Kim.